bantu beta di belakang kita tadi tuh. Beta bisa minta waktu. Iya. Bisa minta waktu 5 menit. Iya, tidak apa-apa. Kakak sudah stop pacar, mau kita akan agak mundur dan lagi. Nah, saya kira bilang ada 2 kabel di atas yang kosong. Duanya tuh yang warna itu sudah yang kosong sah, yang bukan kosong itu bisa coba. Oh yang satu, oh yang itu yang dari atas. Oh ini coba putar, pindah yang satu di satu, yang satu di dua. Soalnya ada yang kosong lagi, hanya dua saya. Oh coba itu, satu di satu. Masuk. Jangan. Kalau kakak belum ada kabel kosong tapi sudah nyala semua. Nah kita ambil ini apa ambil dari atas satu yang dari ini warna satu ini mulai. Oh bisa kok kalau ambil dari ini warna satu. Kalau langsung di komputer, oh satu yang ke mana nanti, ada satu. Ini apa? Ini apa? Video. Ini kakak ini apa sih? Ini dari Zoom, ini Indonesia. Oh itu. Nyala kok? Oh, belum join ini apa? Belum klik host tadi. Tapi di situ sudah masuk. Lu klaim host di situ. Ada di belakang tas. Mana kakakku? Oh, masih di depan. Sudah, Christian.
tes. Mana kecil kok. Tes. Tes. Cek.
Make me host. Coba.
Tes.
Tes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the international seminar organized by the Faculty of Economics and Business, Widya Mandira Katolik University, Kupang, with the theme Social Entrepreneurship in Global Era, from Local Impact to Global Change. This event is proudly held in celebration of the 42nd anniversary of the Faculty of Economics and Business, University Katolik of Widya Mandira Katolik Kupang.
This event will be hosted by two Master of Ceremony. I'm Karin.
I am Rivani. At this moment, allow us to respectfully greet the Honorable Rector, Father Dr. Stefanus Leo, SVD SPhil MA,
The esteemed Vice Rector,
the respected Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Dr. M.A. Perseveranda S.A. M.S.E., along with the Vice Deans,
the Head and Secretary of the Magister Management, Development Economics, Management and Accounting Study Program,
Chairperson of the Committee,
the Head of the institution sponsoring this event,
our distinguished keynote and invited speakers, Professor Iputu Sugiarta from Universitas Katolik, Universitas Atmajaya Yogyakarta, Indonesia, Professor Jenny Oliveros from University of St. Joseph, Macau, Professor Yadi Aditya Farman from Colorado State University, United States of America, Dr. Teresia Gunawan from Universitas Katolik Parahyangan, Indonesia, Mrs. Hannah Keraf, the Chief Officer and Partnership DU Anyam or Kreologi Indonesia,
the Father Dr. Pascali Seran from Universitas Katolik Widya Mandira, Indonesia, Ms. Melsi Anita Mansula, Director of Mutiara Timur West Bank, Indonesia, Professor Shirley Mendoza from Divine Word College, Calapan, Philippines, and Associate Professor Elisa Nasruddin from University Saint Malaysia.
And all lecturers, staffs of the Faculty of Economics and Business, students and participants, both on-site and online, who come from Indonesia, United States of America, Philippines, Macau, and Timor-Leste.
We are honored to have your presence in this meaningful academic event. Before we officially commence, let us begin with opening prayer. We kindly invite Ms. Maria Stefaniana Tigawe to lead the prayer. Ms. Fania, you may now proceed.
Good morning, distinguished guests, lecturers, and dear friends. Before we begin this international seminar, let us take a moment to pray and ask for God's blessing so that today's event may run smoothly and bring inspiration to all of us. Please allow me to lead this prayer according to the Catholic faith. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving and Almighty Father, we are grateful for your endless love and guidance. On this blessed day, you have allowed us to gather together in this international seminar. Thank you, Lord, for the precious gifts of life, health, and enthusiasm that enable us to be here today. We are thankful for the opportunity to learn, to share knowledge, and to be inspired by our distinguished speakers. We humbly ask you to pour out your spirit of wisdom upon our hearts and minds so that we may open ourselves to new insights and ideas that will guide us to become individuals who bring positive change from our local communities to the global stage. Bless all the speakers, moderators, and participants so that the seminar may process smoothly, orderly, and fruitfully, bringing benefits and inspiration to many people. We entrust all the activities of this day into your loving hands, Lord, and may everything we do be for the glory of your holy name. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Maria Stefanina Tigawe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the anthem Indonesia, National Anthem Indonesia Raya. Thank you. Please sit it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we express our sincere gratitude to God as we are able to gather here today for this international seminar, bringing together experts and participants from various countries. This event is supported by ASEACU, the Association of Southeast and East Asian Catholic College and Universities, APTIC, Association of Catholic Higher Education Institution in Indonesia, Bank BNI, Bank Mandiri, Suzuki, ZNE, Lanisa, Aula Stationery, Jasa Raharja Putra Insurance, Wings,
Injeksi Laptop, Sosro, Aneka Kosmetik, Kupang Trend Center, Roti Beta, Relaksologi, Sotis Hotel, Koperasi Adiguna, La Tulip, Ikatan Sarjana Ekonomi Indonesia, Karisma, Bondi Cafe and Stick, Mr. DIY, Masterpiece, dan Bursa Efek Indonesia.
We now invite the Rector of Widya Mandira Katolik University, Father Dr. Stefanus Liu, S.Phil SMA, to deliver the opening address and officially declare the international seminar. Father Rector, you may now proceed.
Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished speakers from Indonesia and abroad, the dean and faculty members, lecturers, students, and all honorable guests. Praise and gratitude we raise to Almighty God for His grace and love that bring us together in the spirit of academic fellowship to celebrate the 42nd anniversary of the Faculty of Economics and Business through this international seminar. Dear brothers and sisters, 42 years is a long journey, filled with struggles and blessings. This faculty has produced many intelligent and dedicated graduates, people who think critically yet care deeply for others. This is the spirit of Serviens Veritate, in the service of truth, which animates all educational endeavors at the Katolik University of Widya, Mandira. The theme of today's seminar is social entrepreneurship in the global era, from local impact to global change, is deeply relevant to the challenges of our times. We are reminded that business and economics are not only about profit, but also about social responsibility, sustainability, and humanity. Social entrepreneurship teaches us that great changes can begin with small acts rooted in local communities. From the humble land of East Nusa Tenggara, we can inspire the world. I sincerely hope this seminar becomes a space for dialogue and collaboration among academics, practitioners, and students to build a more just and human world. Finally, on behalf of the entire academic community of the Catholic University of Widya Mandira, I extend my warmest congratulations to the Faculty of Economics and Business on its 42nd anniversary. May this faculty continue to be a blessing to society, and may the spirit of Serviens Veritate guide us in every step. With gratitude to God, I hereby declare the International Seminar of the Faculty of Economics and Business officially open. Thank you. May God bless us all.
Thank you, Father Rector, for the inspiring words and for officially opening our international seminar. Please give Father Rector a round of applause. As this continues, we kindly request your presence for our group photo session with the Dean, the committee, and all on-site participants. We also kindly ask the photographer to please assist us. Okay, everyone, on my call. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Please be seated. Now we will proceed with group photo session for our online participants. We kindly request Everyone online to please turn on your cameras. We kindly ask the IT team to please capture a moment. Ready? On my call. 3, 2, 1. Once again, on my call. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone.
So before we move on our main session, we will read a few rules. First, please ensure that all offline participants have complete registration by scanning the barcode on the front desk. Certificate will be automatically sent to participant Gmail accounts. Second, for online participants, the attendance link will be provided at the end of the session. Please fill in your full name and correct name as it will be automatically linked to your certificate. Third, if there are any issue regarding certificate, please contact us for correction at the Seminar International 01@gmail.com. Our event will be end at 5 p.m. with a break time for 11:20 to 11:50 a.m. For online participants, lunch will be provided by the committee. After the lunch break, the agenda will be continued. And the last, there are 3 sponsor booths located on the 4th floor. Please feel free to visit the booth during the break time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the main session of today's international seminar. This session will be moderated by Mr. Bernard Danibau. He is currently a lecturer at the English Teacher Training and Education Study Program of Widya Mandira Katolik University, Kupang, East Nusa Tenggara Province, Indonesia. He completed his master's degree in Education Management and Leadership at Flinders University, South Australia, while his PhD was in Education TESOL at the University of Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia in 2022. His research focuses on EFL, pre-in-service teachers' professional knowledge, teaching English as a foreign language, teaching with technology, teacher education, and school management. Mr. Bernard, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my 2 beautiful
Recording in
angels.
progress.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Thanks God, everyone is good. I'd like to say warm greetings from Kupang, the capital city of East Nusa Tenggara Timur, to all virtual audience who have shared their time to attend this special seminar. Hopefully everyone can remain seated until the end of this marathon seminar today. Yeah. I believe everyone here is grateful to attend this special seminar. Ya, saya percaya bahwa semua yang ada di sini sangat senang mengikuti seminar yang luar biasa ini. Kita akan mengawali seminar kita dengan tema Social Entrepreneurship in Global Era, from Local Impact to Global Change. I believe this is an interesting as well as challenging tagline for each of us. How to initiate change from our local context to international era. So we are going to hit this special moment by inviting a distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Iputu Sugiyarta Sanjaya. Hopefully he has been here.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Professor Dr. Putu Sugiyarta Sanjaya is going to bring to us an insight regarding the role of higher education institution in supporting social entrepreneurship in the digital era for the national and international market. Before he's presenting his topic, I'd like to tell you a bit about his background. Prof. Iputu Sugiarta Sanjaya, judging from his name, I think we know that he must be from Bali. Yes, he was born in Bali 55 years ago. And currently, he is working at the University of Atmajaya, Yogyakarta, specifically at the Faculty of Economic and Business. And he is also, this is his 10th seminar as guest speakers. Ini yang ke-10 ya. Ya artinya each month, setiap bulan itu beliau diundang dalam berbagai seminar, local, national, and international. So let's give big hands to this eloquent speaker, Professor Putu. And he has been awarded with lots of outstanding award from research, from community service, and also from education. In year 2015, he has presented, as I told you, 9th seminar, and this is the 10th seminar, and this is the 10th seminar, and lots of research articles. And even in year 2026, he is going to publish one coming research article regarding Laudatio Si, that is issue regarding sustainable environment. So I think we can't wait to hear directly from Professor Iputu Sugiarta Sanjaya. Prof, we are happy. It is a great honor for us to listen directly from you. Thank you so much for attending and sharing this event with us. Prof, time is yours. You are given about 30 minutes and then 15 minutes for question and answer sessions. So all audience, whether offline or online, may raise the questions, and I probably can issue that one to Prof. Putu. Thank you so much, Prof. Time is yours. Enjoy and share us your inspiring topic. Kita beri tepuk tangan dulu dong. Ya, terima kasih. Terima kasih, Prof.
Thank you very much, Pak Moderator. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera buat kita semua.
I'm so sorry. It seems that the sound is not working yet.
Hello?
Yes. Ya, kami sudah dengar suara Prof.
Oh ya, baik. Terima kasih, Bapak. Oke, good morning, Romo Rektor, Bapak Ibu Wakil Rektor, para dekan, and other speakers, and also for audience, our college student in Universitas Katolik Widya Mandira Kupang. And thank you very much for Bu Patrick to invite me to join this seminar. Bapak izin share materi ya.
Silakan.
Ya. Okay. The title my seminar about the role of higher education institution in supporting social entrepreneur in digital era. The first is, as we know, social entrepreneurship refer to entrepreneurial activities that objective not only to financial orientation, but to create sustainability, environmental, social, and also humanity. Such as Romo Rector said before. We have some example of social enterprise. In Indonesia, such as Du Anyam. As we know, Du Anyam, I think the base of the activity maybe from the east of Nusa Tenggara. Yeah, the Duanyam is the very popular organization. Maybe Bu Hana Kerap maybe will more detail explain about the Duanyam, and also Sukacita, yeah, and others. Duanyam focus on social improvement by supporting women in East Nusa Tenggara through traditional whipping crafts. Yeah, as we know, we have 1,000 culture in Indonesia, and then also I think maybe 1,000 art and culture. Yeah, so that is our potential background in Indonesia. And then Duanyam use digital tools such as e-commerce platform, social media, and digital supply chain management. Yeah, to enhance production and marketing area. Based on innovation, yeah, Duanyam successfully market its product to global market, yeah, such as in Asia and also Europe. Based on digital paper, I read Duanyam also received international recognition from United Nations Women Empowerment World. Yeah, I hope Bu Ana Kerap will explain more about Duanyam and then make more motivation for our college and student in Universitas Katolik Widya Kupang. And the second is Sukacita. Yeah, Sukacita is socio entrepreneurship in Indonesia. Yeah, focus is social mission empowering traditional textile artisan in Indonesia. Yeah, Sukacita also utilize digital storytelling, e-commerce, yeah, global sustainability campaigns, yeah, to promote your product. Yeah. And now Sukacita has gained international recognition also and successfully expanded its market to overseas customers. Okay, digital transformation. Yeah, digital transformation is a comprehensive process. Integrates technology into all aspects of business and society, thereby reshaping how organizations create value and impact. In context, digital transformation is a tool, yeah, strengthens social mission by enhancing efficiency, transparency, and outreach. Okay, now we go to the United States SDGs. Social, like no poverty, zero hunger, yeah, gender equality, such as Duanyam and also Sukacita. They more active, employee, yeah, woman employee to support the activity, yeah. I mean, a lot of women join to the production of Duanyam, yeah, and also sustainability extra. So social entrepreneurship, I think, more support for sustainability development goals of United Nations. And now in Indonesia, we have maybe motto or maybe two words or one word, yeah, berdampak, yeah, impactful, yeah. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Republik Indonesia, launched the impactful campus program, yeah, on National Education Day. So what we do as campus community to impact to the community, to social, environmental, etc. And we have three dharma, yeah, of higher education. Three dharma, I think, three obligation of, yeah, I say obligation, yeah, three obligation of higher education. The first is learning, yeah, and then research, community service. So we must do three obligation of higher education. For learning, yeah, we are in university. I think also in Atmajaya Yogyakarta, and also in Universitas Katolik Mandira Kupang. I think we have almost the same curriculum, such as entrepreneurship curriculum. Yeah, and also we have digital digital business and then sustainability. Both might be study in economics, study in technology, study in extra. I think a lot of students study about entrepreneurship. And then in Atmajaya, we have mandatory course such as entrepreneurship. And then also research. Yeah, we focus area includes entrepreneurship, digital business, and also studies sustainability issues, such as carbon emission, such as social, ESG, environmental, social, and governance, and responsibility, and also sustainability. Yeah. And the third is community service. Yeah, we have activities in development of micro, small, and medium enterprise, entrepreneurship initiative, and digitalization of, such as digitalization of macro, small. And the last, we have KKN, yeah, Student Community Service Program. I think this is arrow of the university, yeah, when we come to the community. Yeah. Why? From the community service program, we can collect more data about the art, culture, and extra. Yeah, the last time, yeah, until now, I went some place such as in West Kalimantan, yeah, Sintang, Skadau, Ketapang. We have rich culture, rich art, and that we can develop. Yeah. And also when we come to the Lombok Utara, yeah, through KKN, the service program, we can collect more art, more culture. Yeah. And also in Bali now, yeah, we can identify, yeah, more local wisdom, local art, and also in Jogja. Yeah. And the last time we also KKN in Mentawai, and I went to Mentawai in last time. I met very rich art and culture over there. So this is the potential role to entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. I give example in Jogja, yeah, my college, yeah, Pak Surya Dharma Adi Pratama, my friend from Faculty of Social and Communication. Yeah, he assists one group community in Bantul. Yeah, the name of leader the community is Pak Daliman, and then Pak Daliman improve green, organic farming, yeah. Organic farms, and then Pak Suryo and friends every time come to the location for assisting, yeah, the community. And now they have product, the name is Beras Alami. Yeah, Beras Alami is organic rice. And then my college in Atmaja to support, yeah, like marketing, yeah, to support selling product extra. We still focus on a local market. Yeah, we hope we go to the national market, and then next might be international market. Yeah, this is one example from our university. Yeah, so to improve social entrepreneurship in Indonesia, we need institution collaboration, not only from one institution. So like government must support, yeah, like in Bantul also the local government, yeah, to support the community, yeah, like NGO, private companies also through their CSR, maybe from like Marta Tilar Group, for example. Communities, yeah, communities also have significant role to improve the social entrepreneurship, and also higher education institution. This is our obligation. Yeah, my university declare that our campus is Laudato Si campus. Yeah, and then so we have to respect to the social and respect to the community, respect to the environmental, etc., to support sustainability in the world. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's give big hands. Kita berikan tepuk tangan untuk sharing knowledge. Prof. Putu sudah memberikan kepada kita contoh real dari social entrepreneurship, baik di Jogja, di Kalimantan, di NTT, dan juga di luar negeri. Kuncinya itu digitalize of our social entrepreneurship. Jadi harus menggunakan media sosial. Tapi juga beliau menekankan tentang pentingnya kolaborasi dengan various stakeholders, whether local collaborations with various stakeholders, whether local, national, and international through social media or digital. Excuse me, the audience, if you have some questions or just to say some points regarding the presentations, you are warmly welcome. Yeah, this opportunity is not only open for online participants, but also for all the participants who have been sitting in this beautiful hall. Time is yours. Any questions, teman-teman? Ada pertanyaan? Boleh pertanyaan dalam bahasa Indonesia. Nanti moderator akan coba terjemahkan. Tapi sangat bagus kalau this is nice if you can share the questions in English. Yes, teman-teman dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis. Ada yang online?
Irli Habikore. Ya, Irli Habakore, Babi.
Oh, oke. Ya. Inli Habakore. Judging from her name, she must be from Kupang. Silakan.
Oh.
Ya. Silakan Ibu Irli.
Thank you for the time and opportunity you given for me. My question, what strategies can be used to ensure that KKN project empower communities to continue development independently after student leave? Thank you. That's all for me.
Oke, terima kasih Irli. Kita beri tepuk tangan dulu dong. Irli sudah menghangatkan suasana dengan pertanyaan tentang KKN, ya, field practice, ya, field campus practice. Bapak ini bagaimana impactnya untuk mereka punya karir ke depannya dari praktek-praktek KKN yang baik terjadi di Universitas Atmajaya maupun universitas lain. Silakan share this inspiring knowledge untuk kami, Bapak.
Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Irli. Yeah, thank you, Pak Moderator. Yeah, I think after student leave from KKN, they have 1 month interaction with the local community. Yeah, they can learn inclusively. Yeah, life in community with the local community, such as in Bali, such as in Ketapang. The student meet Dayak culture, Bali culture, Lombok culture, Mentawai culture, yeah, also in Jogja culture. Yeah, this is the inclusively, yeah, and then also we implement like humanity, yeah, integrity, yeah, and extra. So this is the benefit of the student. And also, student can implement their knowledge in community, such as digital marketing. A lot of my students make digital marketing in the area of their KKN, such as improve the website of village, website of Dusun, for example, the small government in village government, and also they give information how the visitor way to new tourism area. Yeah, this is, I think, the benefit of student. And also they make the digital marketing for the UMKM in the local area, in the KKN area. Yeah, they make the website, and also one example from my student in Atmajaya also submit one product in Shopee, yeah, to marketing the product in one very famous platform, for example. Yeah, so by KKN you can improve your capacity in the real world. You can contact person to person. Yeah, different culture, different background, extra. Yeah, I think this is my answer. Thank you.
Terima kasih Prof. Putu. Jadi adik-adik KKN itu impact-nya double. Impact pertama to build your own capacity, but the next impact, you give impact to the society where you do your community practice. Terima kasih Prof untuk penekanan pentingnya KKN untuk mahasiswa. Berikut masih ada pertanyaan dari offline, teman-teman. Ada? Cool. Ya. Terima kasih. Tell me your name and raise your questions.
Okay, thank you for the time and opportunity that given to me. My name is Happy.
A bit louder please, lebih kuat lagi. Telinga kami orang tua ini sudah agak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time that given to me. My name is Happy and my question is, how should the transaction be properly recorded from an accounting perspective, considering the sustainability accounting practice and applicable recording model?
Oh, wow, this is challenging questions. Prof. Putu, can you hear directly her questions?
Yeah. Okay. I think this is very accounting, yeah.
Yeah. Her name is Happy, so she's trying to make us happy, Prof.
Yeah. I want to try, because this is my my department, my knowledge, Okay, in accounting, such as how do we record sustainability activities? So now we are in carbon trading, carbon trading area. So the company have more than upper cut-off carbon emission, and then they must buy the carbon. And then the company have lower than cut-off, the higher cut-off. They can sell the carbon. How do we in accounting? When the company buy carbon, so the debit is credit carbon and credit is cash. And then for seller, for example, cash debit and sale of carbon. And then how do we report the activities? Credit carbon might be, this is asset. And then sales of carbon, this is revenue, part of income statement. This is the carbon issue. How about ESG, environmental, social, and governance? I think all of the activity is cost, is expense. Like, we reduce, we respect to the environment. So maybe we must buy, for example, electricity car. This is very expensive. How do we do like this? Because we want to reduce the negative impact of our activity. When we buy electricity car, for example, mobil listrik. So mobil listrik is asset, and etc. Okay, this is my answer about the accounting. We can continue discuss in outside, because now my research, my study, more focus in sustainability. Thank you.
Terima kasih Prof. Putu. Nona Happy, bagaimana? Apakah jawaban Prof. Putu membuatmu happy? Okay. She's smiling, Prof. So she's happy with your answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you banyak. Terima kasih.
Currently my time is around 8:58 to 9 o'clock. So we still have around 10 minutes. Masih ada sekitar 10 menit. Barangkali masih ada questions. Thank you so much for Catherine. Catherine, kita sekarang itu pemberdayaan perempuan khususnya di social entrepreneurship. Jadi banyak sekali perempuan yang bertanya tentang social entrepreneurship dan salah satunya itu Miss Catherine. Miss, please introduce yourself first and then let us know about your question.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Katarina Lamablawa. I'm from Trilog Radio, the media partner of Widya Mandira Katolik University. Thank you, Prof. Sanjaya. Actually, we have been talking about social entrepreneurship for years, but some people still think that social entrepreneurship has limited profit benefits when we talk about it from economic orientation. But as the young people, we know that social entrepreneurship is very important to support sustainable development goals that we are now trying to reach out. So can you please give us some tips maybe for us to have the same commitment that social entrepreneurship is also important, not only from economic benefits, but also to support sustainable development goals. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for these excellent questions ya. Saya rasanya dengar suaranya macam dengar suara radio saja. Ya, sangat lembut dan begitu indah. Prof Putu mudah-mudahan bisa mendengarkan. Hopefully you can hear clearly about her questions.
Ya, thank you, Mbak. Siapa namanya tadi, Bapak?
Mbak Catherine.
Mbak Catherine, thank you very much, Mbak Catherine. The very good question. Yeah. Maybe Bu Hana Kerap, maybe I will maybe more comprehensive answer the question. I think. So, what the strategy? What the motivation? Yeah, to the young generation to be a social entrepreneurship. Yeah. Once again, yeah, maybe in the next time, the economic impact will depend on how do we for social and the environment and the humanities. Yeah. The next time in the future, I think not focus only in economics. So if you do social entrepreneurship, I think that is the potential for your career in the next time. Yeah. Once again, economics impact, financial impact, in the last time depend on our activity relating to sustainability. I believe it. Yeah, as we know now, yeah, some people might be still focused on financial objective or economic objective. Yeah, but the next time in the future, yeah, financial objective, I think we can receive the financial benefit depend on our activity in the social and environment. So that is the social entrepreneurship is biggest challenge for young people now. Okay. And then, yeah, as we know, Dukayang is very famous organization. Yeah, we can learn from maybe Bu Hana Kerap, next presenter, yeah, to give us, yeah, the process of the business and etc. Okay, thank you, Bapak. Yeah.
Oke, terima kasih Pak Putu untuk penjelasannya. Jadi social entrepreneurship sebenarnya itu go in line dengan economic profit ya, karena social profit itu mendukung economic profit. Jadi teman-teman mahasiswa semua kalau baru lulus ya sosial lebih dulu lah supaya profit economicsnya itu mengikuti. Jangan economic dulu yang dikembangkan tetapi ini ya sosial. Jadi untuk bisa berkembang, saya pikir Prof, mereka harus sosial duluan, ya, learning more, because by doing more social activities you learn more and then you can make benefit for economic profits later on, ya. Jadi dua-duanya jalan inline bersamaan. Terima kasih Prof Putu.
Ya, terima kasih.
Masih ada, saya pikir kita masuk pada penyerahan sertifikat, Prof. Prof, actually we want to hear more, dan saya yakin teman-teman masih punya pertanyaan, but because this is a marathon seminar, masih ada 8 pembicara, Prof. Jadi untuk saat ini kami berhenti dulu, tapi teman-teman kita punya networking. Kenapa Prof ini hari ini mengikuti seminar, memberi seminar yang ke-10? Because he has lots of networking. He make use of digital media. Ya, teman-teman, kita belajar kita belajar banyak dari Prof, tidak hanya dari materi tetapi juga dari whatever he has done. And
saya juga belajar Bapak dari proses ini. Saya juga belajar dari teman-teman di Mandira Kupang. Terima kasih sekali.
Terima kasih Prof.
Kesempatan untuk belajar bersama.
Prof, ini ada penyerahan sertifikat, walaupun online. Kami serahkan saja, Prof. Ya, terima kasih. My dear MC.
Thank you, Prof. Iputu Sugiarta, for the insightful presentation you have shared.
Yeah,
we will now proceed with the certificate awarding and an online group photo. We kindly ask Professor Iputu to keep your camera on, and we kindly ask the IT team will now capture the moment. Please be ready on my call. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Professor Iputu. I now return the session to our moderator, Mr. Bernard.
Terima kasih, Nona. Okay. So we are once again, terima kasih Prof.
Terima kasih.
Untuk
saya mohon
waktunya yang luar biasa untuk kami.
Ya, terima kasih. Saya mohon pamit lewat laptop saya karena saya sedang mobile. Terima kasih Romo Rektor, terima kasih Bu Patrick, terima kasih Pak Moderator, terima kasih, sampai jumpa.
Terima kasih Prof, doa kami sukses dan penuh berkat selalu.
Amin.
My dear audience, whether online or offline, who are still remaining sitting in this hall, kita akan lanjutkan ke pembicara kedua, teman-teman. Ini this speaker is coming from the United States, ya. Oh, from okay. We are going to invite Prof. Jenny Oliveros Philip from Macau. Hopefully, Prof. Jenny has been here with us virtually. Prof, how are you doing?
Yes, hello.
Background that you have already sent to us.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Terima kasih, thank you. Terima kasih, that is meaning thank you from Indonesia, Prof.
Terima kasih.
Yeah, terima kasih. Prof. Jenny Oliver Philip is currently an associate professor of human and social sciences at the University of St. Joseph. That is a private Catholic university in West Hartford, Connecticut, United States. But
no, in Macau.
Oh, in Macau. Okay, in Macau University of Tourism. Prof. Philip has been teaching a wide range of courses for the past 23 years in the areas of innovation and entrepreneurship, social services management, publication include business sustainability, entrepreneurship, organization behaviors, government studies, tourism, and literature. So Prof. Jenny is going to share with us lively from Macau regarding the best practice of social entrepreneurship. How happy we are, Prof, to listen more about this topic from you. So you are going to be shared about 30 minutes, Prof, untuk to share us your best practice, and then the end 15 minutes for questions and answer sessions. Prof, the time is yours, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Professor Mandira. So, good morning, everybody, and thank you for inviting me to give this talk about the drivers of social enterprises in Macau and the dominance of the hybrid system, hybrid model. Just check, you can all see my PowerPoint screen, right? Hello?
Yes, Prof.
Yes. Okay, good. So today what I'm sharing is a bit about the social enterprises in Macau. And we have one very special phenomenon, which is that in Macau, all the social enterprises are in hybrid model. So it's an ongoing research that we have been keeping on. So I would like to share a bit about this research and the situation in Macau. So firstly, since this conference is about social enterprises, I'm sure you all have a general idea about what social enterprises is and how we started the social entrepreneurship. Actually started way before the 90s, but the research on actual social entrepreneurship only started in the late 1990s. And have gained lots of attention in the past 20-something years. So in this, we can see the importance of this type of enterprises in this millennium. Since year 2000, this millennium, we have entered another phase of entrepreneurship. And so more social enterprises have been looked at. So social enterprises first was defined as the entrepreneurs with a social mission. So nowadays, it might be a bit harder to see the differences between social enterprises and corporate social responsibility, because nowadays, most enterprises we see all over the world has a social mission. But what is different is that the social enterprises, their main focus is on social mission in providing service for those who are in needs, in solving poverty issues, in solving environmental issues, providing job opportunities, etc. And making profit is just a sideline. So generally, social enterprises can be non-profit, or they can be for-profit, or they can be hybrid in nature. Hybrid. So non-profit social enterprises are different from charities. They are established as a non-profit organization, but they adopt entrepreneurial processes to run the non-profit entrepreneurs. But we cannot say that not all non-profits are social enterprises. We all know some international charities like the World Bank, the Caritas. So all these are charities. They are not social enterprises. Non-profit social enterprises, one example we might know is the One World Health, which is a non-profit pharmaceutical. So the difference of these compared to other charities is that they are not getting people to donate medicine for underprivileged countries. They are researching and producing the medicine themselves, like any other pharmaceutical companies, but in a non-profit way, getting volunteers from scientists, volunteer medical personnel, getting volunteers to help bring the medicine, getting government support and in underprivileged countries for the distribution of the medicine to poor people. The reason that One World Health do this is that they realize there are lots of orphan disease. Orphan disease refers to diseases that only happen in certain poor regions. That's why for-profit pharmaceuticals will not be interested in producing this type of medicine because they do not make money. So that's why One World Health started this initiative of doing a pharmaceutical but doing it in a non-profit way in order to provide this, to research on diseases that happens only in poor regions in India, for example, and other places, and then to research and create the medicine that are needed by a small number of population who cannot afford that. So that's one type of non-profit social enterprises. And then there is the for-profit social enterprises, we know, which is the same as any other enterprises, which is a social business ventures. They are like traditional business, but with a social mission, which prioritize their social value. We know Secom from Egypt, we know Grameen Bank, and these are some of the bigger social enterprises, microfinancing. So for-profit social enterprises, they are launched in order to serve the poor and to solve the social issues. But they cannot get any funding or government funds because they're registered as a business, just like the others. Therefore, they have the responsibility to make money as well because they need to be responsible for their own finances. But this type of social enterprises normally started up in order to make money, in order to be able to continue the social mission. Some of them turn out to become very profitable business in the end. So it's a new type of business model to serve the poor. And then there is the hybrid nonprofit. The hybrid model are a combination of both. They are nonprofit organizations starting for-profit businesses to extend their service and to get some money through services, through selling their goods or products in order to continue the mission of their nonprofit organization. So these hybrid social enterprises are enterprises that are for the enterprise itself is run as a for-profit business, but they are not owned by shareholders in general. They are owned usually by a charity organization. And so the profit so a charity organization like Caritas, they started small businesses under the organization, and the profit that they make from these businesses goes back to support the charity initiatives. So these are the differences of a social enterprises, just a basic overview. And we can see here the differences between social enterprises you can see from the traditional charity, like the World Bank, the World Food Bank, Caritas, they are purely charitable. And then there are traditional businesses, enterprises that are pure profit-oriented. And then there is the middle, which is the social enterprises. It is a combination of charity and businesses. So social enterprises need to make profit, but the profit are mostly reinvested in the business for the use of for their charity use, for solving a business issue. So this is a chart that clearly shows the difference between the business and charity and how this is combined into social enterprises. So the beginning of social enterprises, some background in Macau, we started quite late, actually. Although social enterprises started in the 90s and research started to increase since the early 2000s, but in Macau, the social enterprises only started in 2009, which is mostly in response to the international financial crisis in 2008, which has caused a lot of people losing their jobs and causing a lot of economic downturn in Macau. And so the Macau government started to support the establishment of social enterprises in 2009. But rather than just encouraging people to start social enterprises, they started two subsidy schemes. One is the financial aid program for employment development of people with disabilities. So this is to encourage people to start businesses that are suitable to employ people with disability. And then there is a subsidy scheme for senior workforce in social enterprises. So these are for people who are at a more elderly age, but have to retire or asked to retire early because of the financial crisis. So due to these two schemes, after 16 years of implementing this support, well, more than 16 years now, there are approximately currently 20 social enterprises only, which is still low compared to any other places. The number of social enterprises are quite low, and all these 20 enterprises are actually only owned by 5 different nonprofit organizations in Macau. So these are just to introduce a few these 5 nonprofit organizations. Some of you might have heard because they might have subsidiaries in other parts of the world or in Asia. One is called the Fu Hong Society of Macau. This is a nonprofit organization which is dedicated to providing service for persons with intellectual disabilities or people with mental illness in rehabilitation. So as a charity organization, Fu Hong Society, what they do is they provide spaces where parents of mentally disabled people can go to work and then leave their mentally challenged next of kin at the charity places at Fu Hong Society. So the nonprofit part of that is that they would have social workers and nurses to take care of the people with intellectual disabilities. And before they have any social enterprises, they started with providing some services, some training to teach these intellectually disabled people certain kinds of handiwork or certain work. And so derived from that, they started social enterprises, which is like a small shop where they can sell the handiworks of these mentally challenged people. So from one shop, they started developing other businesses, including laundry service, including car washing services, including restaurants. So they designed their business model in a way that each of the residents with mental illness, they can, because of their mental challenge, they cannot do complicated work. They have to do repeated work. So what they did was that they started out all these small businesses so that these people with intellectual disabilities, they are not taking charity from this Fu Hong Society. They would feel like they are contributing. They are going to work. And their work is important. Their work has meanings because they need to make profit in order for these businesses to be sustainable, in order to keep running the handicraft shop, in order to keep running the laundry business, in order to running the car washing business, in order to run the restaurants and the secondhand shop. They need to be able to be financially self-sustainable. And then the extra profit made from these businesses would go back to the Fu Hong Society for the charity work that they do. So this is one example. The second one is the Macau Association for the Mentally Handicapped. This is, of course, as the name mentioned, it's a nonprofit organization that provides services and programs for individuals with developmental disabilities in Macau. So this association, they have started small businesses like supermarkets and shop, which again develop simple business model so that the people with developmental disabilities are able to work and to do the job. And then there is Caritas Macau. I think there's Caritas in different countries, probably all over the world, which is a Catholic charity organization. So Caritas in Macau is a nonprofit organization dedicated to comprehending poverty, serve elderly, family and youth, the community, and rehabilitation. So under Characters Macau, they also have a few different businesses, which including one is a shop that sells the products created with disabled people. So people who have physical disability could work in the workshop, and their work would be sold in the shop, and then the profit made from that goes back to support the running of the shop and goes back to support their initiative. They also run elderly services. Some are nonprofit charities supported by government, but they also run 3 elderly homes, which are for profit, like normal businesses. So which means they need to charge the families for taking care of the elderly, and they need to make profit themselves for the sustainability of the elderly care. They also have second-hand shops, which is to support, to help poverty. Although poverty level is low in Macau, there are still expatriates in Macau who might have financial difficulty. So they work with large organizations like casinos, the hotels, etc. So whom they will take over their second-hand furnitures and other products and sell to people who are less fortunate at a low rate. So this second-hand shop, again, have to be profit-making for the continuous running of the business. And then the Association of Parents of People with Intellectual Disabilities in Macau. So this association is started by parents who have children and with intellectual disability. So they provide support and assistance to each other. And this was actually the first one that started a social enterprises long ago, which is a small restaurant that they sell only very simple food, simple salad and sandwiches and such, because it is easy for people with intellectual disability to be able to work in there to deliver the simple service. And however, when the concept of social enterprises first approach, they do not think that they are social enterprise. They think that they are just a non-profit making money by selling this food to keep paying salary to these people with disabilities. But actually what they are doing, we have been explaining to them, this is what a social enterprise is doing. But they started in the 90s, where the idea of social enterprise was not developed yet. And then lately, just a few years ago, we have the ARTM, is the Association for Rehabilitation in Macau, a nonprofit organization for drug and alcohol detoxification and rehabilitation. So the nonprofit part of this organization is to help addicts detoxify and to go back to the society. A few years ago, they started a small cafe, so that these rehabilitants, after they go back to the society, some of them manage to find jobs, some do not, so they started their own restaurant so that they could hire these people to work, to provide jobs with them. So after we analyzed the situation of the social enterprises in Macau, going to visit the different enterprises, and we discovered that all these enterprises are owned by only 5 nonprofit organizations in Macau, and there are no fully for-profit social enterprises, and there are no non-profit social enterprises. So we try to discover what drives these 5 nonprofit organizations to establish their social enterprise in Macau, and then to explore the reason for the hybrid system, for the domination of hybrid system of social enterprises in Macau. We try to find out why all the enterprises in Macau all the social enterprises are hybrid system. And so we did a documentary analysis of the government policy news, information, interviews in the news, in television that target the social enterprises owners. And then we conducted in-depth interviews with four of the five owners of this nonprofit organization who started and run the social enterprises and who are directly involved in the establishments in these enterprises. We also interviewed some influential business people in Macau about their perception of social enterprises and to find out why, especially some of them, they are very involved in corporate social responsibilities. Like they would put aside certain profit of their organization for charity purposes and stuff, but we try to find out why they do not start a social enterprise themselves, especially serial entrepreneurs who start many different businesses. But if they are doing so much charity work or social contribution for the existing business, why not run social enterprises? And to find out the reason why. So according to our research, we identified five drivers for starting social enterprises. Firstly is the equal opportunities for disabled and underprivileged, which is one of the key reasons that these companies started the social enterprises. And then also support from the owning non-profit organizations. We also found out because these social enterprises are owned by large non-profit organizations, which can provide some support to the business part. And these charities organizations, they need innovation in order to fill gaps in the society, which we'll explain later. And then also they have the flexibility by the leaders of the enterprises and the charity. They have a flexibility to achieve their social mission, and also because of the initial government support. So firstly, equal opportunities for the disabled. We identified that the social enterprise owners, this nonprofit, this Fu Hong Characters Association for the Mentally Challenged, they decided to serve the disabled from the beginning. This physically disabled, mentally disabled, elderly, rehabilitating addicts. So they started as nonprofit. And then they realized that by establishing social enterprises, especially establish for-profit businesses under their charities, they can provide opportunities for these people. Rather than just helping to take care of these people and providing training for these people in different skills, they believe that they can actually provide jobs for themselves as well if they have the business. And also through working in an actual company, they realize that these people who are in need, they can rejoin or they can join the society or rejoin the society through the mission of these social enterprises. So that is one of the key drive for them to decide, these charities to decide to open a business under their open enterprises under that to provide jobs. And also, one important thing is that they feel that by providing training and caretaking for these people is different from actually giving them real job in the society, which especially with the disabled and the mentally challenged, they are still young and they would not feel that they are useless. They would feel that they are also part of the working force. They would be counted in part of the working force. So which is more important than just providing with caretaking. And secondly, the other reason for these charities for the dominance of the hybrid model in Macau is because of the support from the owning nonprofit organization. For human resources, for example, developing business process that would be suitable for the disabled, maintaining the service and quality. These are things that general business people might not have the idea to do that. So maybe it's easy for someone with a business background to start a restaurant and to design the service delivery process and to promote the business. But one that hires mostly disabled, mentally challenged, or elderlies, the business model have to be changed. It have to be run in a different way. So it would take people with knowledge about these underprivileged staff in order to create that. And the non-profit organization, they have experience in taking care of these people, so they are able to leverage the input from the charity organization to help design and create these businesses. And the stress for financial return is lower compared to if I started a social enterprise in Macau. I have to worry about whether I can make ends meet in order to keep running the business and keep paying the staff, right? But since these non-profit these are owned by non-profit organization, financial return is the stress is lower because at the early stage, firstly, as a non-profit, they can get the government funding for startup, but the government only start the startup part. After they start up the social enterprises, they have to be responsible for the financial sustainability. But in the beginning, in the early stage, sometimes we know running enterprises, early stage is the most difficult part where we might run out of funds. So these organizations, they get some support from the owning organization for the early stage. Many of these 20 social enterprises now are already at the growing or maturity stage. They can be financially sustainable already, but at the early stage, they have the help from the nonprofit organization. And then they see the need for innovation in their charity work. They see that just providing charity support, donating money, taking care of these elderly and disabled are not enough. They think that creating real jobs for their trainees is more important and can contribute more both to the society and to these people who are in need, so that they can also participate in contributing to the society. And they can also provide timely services to elderly with the cost covered, but not overly dependent on funding. Because as more and more associations and charities are established in Macau, the fight for getting sponsorship and getting fundings from government, from foundations, from organizations, are getting more difficult. So they need to find ways to cover the cost to continue the charity work. So running their own businesses that could contribute could contribute partially. So the businesses they run, if they make profit, the profit will be donated back to the charity. So they have another source of income to continue charity work. And also, they see the opportunity of providing small services to local SMEs, which for-profit business do not provide. For example, I mentioned about the example of a laundry business run by Fu Hong organization. They noticed that there are lots of small business in Macau, like beauty centers, like barber shop, hairdressing shop. They have a large number of towels, bed sheets, and stuff that need laundry services. But large laundry organizations in Macau, they prioritize businesses with hotels, with hospitality industry. So they do not value the business from these small businesses. And so Fu Hong Society, the manager of the social enterprises, identified this gap in the society. So starting a laundry business is not easy, but if they and it's not easy to find employees as well, because it's boring job and the employment rate in Macau is low now. So they decided to use the government funding to start up, which is to get the machineries that are needed and a small space to run a small laundry. And then they train their people with disability to work in this laundry. And they, of course, the money they make are used to pay the running of this small laundry and the salary for these people with a mental disability. So this laundry service, and a couple years ago, is already starting to make profit, and this profit could be donated back to the charity, to their own charity, so that they can continue the work. So the innovation, which means they see that charity work itself in Macau does not contribute enough anymore. So they need innovation, and social enterprises is an idea. And then another drive is the flexibility led by the leader's social mission. So each of these social enterprise, they share the mission of the non-profit organization. So they can ensure that the social mission will not be taken over by financial mission, as lots of social enterprises in the world might face.
Excuse me, Prof, 5 more minutes, thank you.
Okay, I'm going towards the end. So they have the flexibility to manage the business without hurting the social mission. And also they have the personnel who are willing to move into enterprises and also working for the non-profit organization. So finally, the other driving force is the initial government support, which is also for traditional entrepreneurs. They do not want to take the risk to start social enterprises, because if it is a for-profit organization, they have to bear the cost for the starting and the early development of the businesses, which if successful, they could make a profit. If not successful, they might face failure. But this charity organization, they can use, in the beginning, I mentioned the government support in 2009, and they are only for non-profit organizations. So this initial government support also get all the non-profit organizations to start thinking about the possibility of starting social businesses. Of course, in the end, initially there were only 3 who started, and then 1 more, and then 1 more. So some of these enterprises, they require a long startup period to design workflow, train staff, and so with the startup fund from the government, this makes them willing to initiative to start the enterprises. So here's the reason why, to answer our question, why the hybrid system in Macau, because the government funding are for non-profit organization, and traditional entrepreneurs will have to bear the initial investment. Also, business people think that they can contribute to the society also by incorporating ESG into their corporate social responsibility practice, and so they do not see the opportunities in profit making for social enterprises, so they continue to be normal traditional business and contribute to the society in another way. And also mostly because poverty level in Macau is low. And a lot of the entrepreneurs we interviewed, their concept of social enterprises are for helping poor people, are for elevating poverty. But they see that there are no poor people in Macau. And the people who are in need in Macau are the disabled, are the rehabilitators. So they already see that there are charity and social enterprises serving these people. And then finally, the concept of social enterprise in Macau is still unclear. So most SME owners assume that social enterprises are supposed to be non-profit owned, are not supposed to be fully for profit. So these are some of the reasons why the hybrid model dominate the social enterprises in Macau. So next up, we are continuing on the development of this research to continue follow the development of the hybrid social enterprise in Macau. We continue to interview employees in these enterprises to get a clearer picture of the hybrid system. We have done one employee motivation research for the elderly care social enterprises. We'll continue to work on others. And we plan to do also case study between social enterprises with nearby regions. For example, in Taiwan and Hong Kong, we noticed there are a lot of social enterprises that are established as for-profit businesses, but not in Macau. So we will try to do some comparative studies to see, and also to look at the business model of hybrid social enterprises in different countries and different places. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. And I'm now opening the floor for questioning.
Terima kasih, thank you so much. Kita berikan tepuk tangan dulu. Ya. Ya, terima kasih banyak. Thank you so much, Prof. Jenny, for this inspiring knowledge sharing. Jadi sekedar mengingatkan kita semua, just to remind all of us that Prof. Jenny is a Dean of the Faculty of Business and Law since year 2018. So she has been the Dean for about 7 years. We have 2 Deans here. Ada kita punya Dr. Perseveranda, Dr. RC, dan juga yang presenting Profesor Jenny Philip. Prof, the audience, whether online or offline, have some questions to be asked. You are given time, silakan. Okay, thank you. Please tell us your name.
Thank you for the time given to me. My name is Fanny.
Fanny, hello.
Yes. My question is, as an accounting student, I'm curious, how do social enterprises in Macau separate their money between their business activities and their social programs? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Well, actually, they are separated. So consider the charity, but Characters is a nonprofit organization. So Characters started, let's say we use one of their business, which is a handicraft shop. So consider this handicraft shop is run as a separate business by themselves. So these business have to pay for the operation expenses of the business, have to pay the employees and others. So this is, although it shares the mission of the charity to help people who is physically or mentally disabled, but this business is a business that hire these people to work in there, and it is run separately. So if the business is not financially sustainable, there is a possibility that they need to close the shop. Yes, sorry. There's a possibility that they have to close the shop because it is a separate business. But if they make a profit, the profit they would donate back to the owning organization, which is a charity organization. Do I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Fanny, for the questions.
And I see in the chat that there is a question, right? Okay. Should I answer the question in the comment?
Yes, Prof, please.
Some questions from Hedwig, is it, if I'm pronouncing your name right? Hedwig, your question first is, how does the social enterprise in Macau deal with tax policy? So the social enterprise that are set up are the same as other social enterprises. They still pay the same tax as the others. So employees have to pay employee tax. The business company itself also have to pay tax. But one thing I have to let you know about companies in Macau is that the main revenue from the government are from casino tax. So many small businesses or medium businesses in Macau, unless those that make millions of profit a year, are waived tax. So I have a small business myself, and I never pay tax because, well, firstly, I do not make money, and I know lots of enterprises also, if they do not make millions of profit, not revenue, they also do not pay tax. So my assumption of these small business, of these social enterprises, they are all small businesses. So they get tax waive until maybe one day when the casino business goes down, government cannot afford to waive tax for small businesses anymore, then we will have to pay tax. And same with these social enterprises, they will still have to pay tax for the business, not for the charity part, the owning charity, but the business itself. And then your second question, in my opinion, what does the cultural challenge third world country have? when dealing with social enterprises, especially from the point of view of the market and the government? Good question. Actually, the world's most famous social enterprises in the world, you might know, are Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, which is a microfinancing business, and Sakam, which is an agricultural product business in Egypt. So these two both started as a for-profit organization, and they are not started by the government or supported by the government. I would assume for third world country, it might be difficult for government to fund organizations to start social business. So the challenge is that whether there are people with some money who are willing to invest in social enterprises in this. Both the owner, for example, the founder of Grameen Bank, when he first started the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, they are registered as a bank, the same as any others. But the idea with different banks is that banks usually only give loans to people who have money already. They started the idea of microfinancing, which is to give small loans to poor people who needed a bit of money, maybe to start a small business, or maybe read in some cases like, okay, a mother who just needs small amount of money to buy some flowers and materials to make some bread and then start selling the bread so that they can be self-sustainable. So they developed this microfinancing, loaning money, not to people who have money, but people who do not have money, and they have very special system to ensure they do not have bad debt. And then the same with Grameen Bank. It's also Professor Abraham, the founder of Sakam. He worked in Austria. When he saw the poverty situation in Egypt, he sold everything he has, put all the money he has to buy land in Egypt near Cairo, and then started using his background in bioengineering and chemistry to start refining the land and developing agricultural products. And then he spread this idea of this new type of agriculture and farming to the whole Egypt. So the challenge the third world country face would be to not depend on the government, but depend on people who have business ideas, who can find gaps in business to provide who can find a business opportunity that can help the society, which can, on the one hand, make money, on the second hand, make money to continue the business, on the other hand, to solve the social issue they identify. And then the third country, what are the measures investors need to have to invest in social enterprise in Macau? Well, aside from the hybrid system, if we talk about general business people, entrepreneurs, so the measures is the same as any other business. So if I want to start a social enterprise in Macau, I started the same way I start any other business. So I can start a restaurant by myself and hire only elderlies and seniors. So I register this as a for-profit business. It's just my for-profit business has a mission. The main thing is not to make money from the coffee shop that I start. The main idea is to provide job opportunities for the elderly in Macau. So in this case, the measures I need to do is I open the restaurant, I register it like any other restaurant. I hire staff, but that's my social contribution. I hire elderly or people who are disabled. And then the challenge would be to design a business model which would be suitable for these people, because they cannot be treated like any energetic young people who can run around and work long hours. So this is the challenge. So I have to run it like a normal business if I'm starting a for-profit social enterprises. Do I answer all your questions, Hedwig?
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof. Jenny, for sharing encouraging topic and question and answers for all of us. I believe we still have lots of questions to be asked, but because of running out of time, so you may leave the questions to the committee and we will pass it to Prof. Jen Philip. To end this session, I'd like to highlight one important point. That is, social enterprises can be in three forms. Jadi usaha-usaha sosial itu bisa dalam 3 bentuk. The first one is non-profit, the second one is profit, and the third one is hybrid in nature. Ciri yang membedakan di antara ketiganya itu pada the ultimate goal of this social enterprises. The ultimate goal, tujuan akhirnya itu apa? Social missions. That is the actual ending of social enterprises, ya. Jadi tujuannya itu untuk melayani masyarakat, bukan profitnya for our self development, tetapi untuk social missions. Thank you so much, Prof. Jenny, for these sessions, and then we are going to handle the online certificate. So MC, time is yours.
Thank you, Professor Jenny Phillips, for the insightful presentation you have shared. We will now proceed with the certificate awarding and an online group photo. We kindly ask Professor Jenny to keep your camera on. We kindly ask the IT team to capture the moment. Please be ready. On my call, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your invitation and to this conference. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih. Thank you. God bless, Prof. Jen. My dear audience, hopefully you still have energy to continue the next session. Ini marathon, tetapi luar biasa. The knowledge that we are going to acquire or gain from these beautiful spatial moments, ya. Jadi harap semua teman-teman tetap duduk, yang online maupun offline. Now we are heading to the third session, which is also interesting. Kita akan mengundang Prof. Aditya Warman from the United States of America. Are you here already, Prof? Halo, Prof. Dari Indonesia, Kupang. Prof. Riyadi. Excuse me, sounds please.
Selamat siang.
Oh, kami masih pagi, Prof. How about
pagi.
Ya.
Oke.
Oke. Terima kasih.
Di sini jam 10 malam di New York.
Aduh, terima kasih. Kami di sini jam 10 pagi. Artinya
Ya,
kita berbeda.
10 pagi.
Oke. Terima kasih, Prof. Masih stay awake, masih tetap bangun untuk memberikan knowledge bagi kami di Kota Kupang, khususnya di University of Widya Mandira. Prof, we are interested to know more about kajian budaya antara lokal dan global dalam upaya mendukung social entrepreneurship. Tapi sebelum itu, Prof, saya hanya punya sedikit informasi. I just have a little bit information about Prof. Nanti Prof sendiri yang beritahu kami lebih banyak ya, Prof, ya. Jadi Profesor,
semoga bisa.
Iya, terima kasih. Prof sekarang itu an expert in interior architecture and design, Colorado State University's Fort Collins, United States. Tepuk tangan dulu dong yang meriah. Ini dari gaya bicaranya ini orang Indonesia yang sudah lama di Amerika. Kita ingin dengar lebih lanjut dari orang-orangnya Donald Trump, ya, Presiden, tentang social enterprises di United States dikombinasikan dengan pengalaman-pengalaman saat beliau ada di Indonesia. Prof, kami ingin dengar lebih banyak tentang your educational background or something more about your self background sebelum memberikan pemahaman tentang budaya.
Thank you first of all for the invitation and to be consistent with the theme from local to global. I hope everyone don't mind if I somewhat combine Bahasa and English. And that's like you just mentioned, it's kind of scary actually. More than half of my age have been spent in the US. But I was born and educated in Indonesia, and I still, until this very day, consider myself an Indonesian in terms of value and so forth, even after 35 years abroad. About my education, it's interesting to see that why then I even consider to participate. My background is in architecture, and I studied at Universitas Katolik Parahyangan in Bandung. I think one of the architecture docent there, Pak Egi, knows me. And then during my study, I'm intensely did a formal study in anthropology at Universitas Pajajaran. It's not even complete the whole education. However, the lesson that I learned from that anthropology department actually is something that very beneficial in my career. So sometimes things that secondary, supplementary could be even more important. Why I emphasize that fact? Because in many cases, in our current postmodern so-called world, the idea of the margin become changed in terms of power structure to the center. So anything that we kind of considered secondary, like shadow, for example, if I'm using architectural example, actually is as important as the light itself. So that's, and then in addition of that, I studied in interior architecture at ITB, Institute of Technology Bandung, just because I like to learn, not because I know everything, because I don't know a lot of things. The fact that I decided to participate as an outsider with so limited knowledge about economy, so-called, but by doing so, I hope I learned something, and sincerely, I hope that I might be able to bring a different, new perspective into the whole discussion. So that's a little bit about myself, but then since 1990, I went on to study in the US at several places, and then initially I worked as a practitioner, but then I've never felt comfortable with that, so I decided to teach full-time. I've been teaching, thankfully, in many institutions, from University of Texas, Syracuse University, Kansas State University, and now in Colorado State University. But again, why I mentioned that, not without any intention, but then this is for the young students there. What you learn there could become your passport to the global world. And I'm say with simplicity. Yes? So I think that's why I agreed with Bu Beatrix to participate, because that the idea from local impact to global change, right? And even some of the keywords, creativity and innovative, it's right in the core of my discipline, architecture. So, shortly speaking, from a distance, seemingly economy business, specifically social, entrepreneurship, and architecture seemingly completely disjointed. But I don't think that's completely true, because in fact, globalization and our current culture, it starts blurring all the boundaries, whether geography, whether disciplines, right? And actually start interconnected, somewhat juxtaposed. And as you know, everyone knows that, for example, design thinking is become part of, which is from architecture, design disciplines, become one of the core in curriculum in progressive business schools like at Stanford University, Harvard, and then so forth. And because the idea of social entrepreneurship and specifically, it's absolutely need to be creative and innovative. Similar with an architect, just the manifestation obviously different, right? But the core creativity and innovativeness is there. So what I think, and I hope I made the right assumption, because I have limited knowledge about economy, so I will not touch anything very detailed and technical. Professor Jenny Phillips already and many other experts would give much more in depth. So what I think I can do, I will look at as a big picture in such way that emphasizing to understand the fundamental values, the principles, the pattern, in such way that enable we can understand any phenomena, in this case, social entrepreneurship in the global era, with simple clarity. And so let me start with that. And then another thing, I will try to keep my presentation in terms of approach and presentation as simple as possible, although it's difficult because this is a complex topic. But the idea of distillation, simplified from complexity, I think it's much needed in our so messy world these days, right? So I started from simple. Since I don't know anything about economy in a way, well, I know a little bit, but not, I'm a novice, just curious. But if we look at that, for example, because anything in essence, a system, so using system thinking as a lens perspective to analyze any phenomena, probably give something to start. So for example, if you're looking at, if I move on to the next one, if you're thinking social thinking, I'm sorry, maaf saya. System thinking, it's always looking what's the parts, right? And the parts that tend to be, whether events or components or parts, something that's easy to see. And most people will look at it and think that's the reality. And if you understand from Plato theory of cave, that's not reality, just the shadow, just of the real thing, right? So using this model, and it's very common, so iceberg, we can only see it on the top, right? The parts, the components. So whether as a social entrepreneurship, there are parts, components of that kind of obvious, and obviously that need to be analyzed. But then this is another step. It's not just the parts, but the relationship between parts, that creating what's called pattern, and that's actually very important, right? because all the combination of those will create the totality. As we know, the sum of the total over is bigger than the parts. And again, sometimes, and because I'm teaching in architecture, most of my students are trapped and looking at the parts and just think that's enough, right? But then, and this is the crux of my presentation, the value system, which is the most abstract, very, very difficult to discern, intangible, but arguably that's the most important. So throughout my presentation, if I can make it cut it simple, throughout cogently through the jugular, right? Sorry for that analogy. Looking the value, tata nilai system of the society, the local society, first and foremost, whether through the obvious, the components, and try to finding this abstract value, or from the abstract value, try to look at it, how implement it. Basically, the cycle process of deduction and induction, which is very common in any scientific method, right? So that's the system of thinking. So it maybe take longer than I thought, but if you look at that, look at the component of justice title, which is, I admire the relevancy of the theme from the conference: social entrepreneurship, globalization, and there's a local impact to global. So there is almost like the notion of globalization, but there's a change of direction from local to global. As we know, the initial wave of globalization tend to come from the Western, the Northern, the most established toward the local, and so forth. So if we look at that and then analyze each of those, and try to understand the relationship. The other thing that I think important from the theme is the idea of local potential, right? So when I decided to go as a young man, go to another world, country, my parents always say, always remember where you come from. And so for the social entrepreneur at Mandira or there, really start from the context of the local society. And then when we're looking at, I kind of jump here a little bit, social, but that, like the previous professor mentioned, that to elevate, to enhance the less fortunate, the marginalized, that's the one that need help, yes, in my opinion. And then how to do so creatively and innovatively. So entrepreneurship by nature need to be able to see possibility, opportunity, flexibility, fluency, courage, and brave, to pursue that, and hopefully that pursuit of something very important. And for that, I really think social entrepreneurship is the way of the present and the future. So it's right there it's something that needed to be done and perfectly aligned with what's called in, I think I mentioned that, jumping a little bit here, the notion of what's called, Zeitgeist. Yes, Zeitgeist meant from a German philosopher Hegel, 19th century idealism philosopher. Zeit, time, Geist, spirit of the time. So that's something that important. Oops, sorry. Okay. I hope everyone still can hear me.
Sure, we can hear you, Prof.
Okay,
Prof,
thank you.
You
I need just some time feedback, and
you still need 5 more
please help me to
minutes
about time. So just quickly, okay?
Yeah.
Because I try to be quick and simple, right? When you were talking about the system of thinking, then one thing that I really learned when I was in anthropology department at UNPAD is from Professor Kunchara Ningrat, the idea of culture, right? So using this iceberg model again, so actually there are like seven levels, but for myself, I try to think as a 3 kind of zone, right? The one that we can see this kind of physical world, physical pranata, physics, yeah? That's everything from clothes, from car, anything that we can see, architecture, technology, that's the artifacts, the cultural, the physical cultural result. And that's the one that we tend to focus, and that's obviously have the most direct impact, yes. However, this is the one that actually changes easily as well, interestingly, right? The phone will change next year and so forth. So then if you go down deeper, that is the social activity, pranata sosial. Itu istilahnya bahasa Indonesia. Halo. Ini termasuk misalnya social, politik, law, anything. Transactional at institutional level, even family in the smallest unit. And this is kind of obvious for every culture, right? And it tend to be more permanent, right? Like I just mentioned, I've been 35 years in the US, but I would say maybe my accent's different, but my core value probably, or my behavior, still very Indonesian, right? But this is the most important. Really deep, barely we can see, and sometimes we don't even aware, that's the nilai, pranata nilai. This abstract value, that's the one that I try to highlight for the students, so they start looking that carefully, because this is abstract, intangible, but yet arguably this is the most influential and permanent. So now, if you see that, how then as a social entrepreneur can start recognizing all these 3 levels in such way any ideas have some kind of reference toward all these layers of culture, right? So now, since we are focusing on the entrepreneurship, I think we can agree that's the idea of the individual, the person, instead of big corporate, instead of country, government, and everything. Entrepreneurship by nature, at least the way I understand, is independent individuality from small thing. So I'm using here an analogy from Ansel Adams. He's a legendary photographer, black and white, considered the maestro. And he said something here interesting. The single most important component of camera is 12 inches behind it. So camera, photography system, camera has the body, the lens, all kind of stuff. And most photographers these days spend thousands of dollars on the equipment and come with fallacy. With that, they will become a better photographer. A good picture, it could, but it's arguably the most important is the person behind the camera.
Prof, I'm so sorry for interrupting.
Interesting? Yes?
So sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
5 more minutes up at most. Thank you.
Okay, so the idea of value and purpose, yes, it's very important in such a way. And if everyone look at the notion of ikigai, right? Now, a social entrepreneur, I hope the basic stands from the internal, what you love, your passion, mission, respond to what the world needs, so it become like a vocation. It's not just a job, yes? Of course, we need to get paid and everything and good, but this idea of passion, mission, and love is the crux of social entrepreneurs, yes? So now the other thing, when we're talking social, if you look at the conventional, actually, it's already obviously mentioned briefly, the previous entrepreneurship focus on the profit, whether stakeholder and so forth, right? But the social, actually to help the other, particularly the less fortunate, yeah, the poor, the uneducated, anything, the repressed. That's the one that really need help, right? Now, if you look at this diagram, simple, right? The right one is a Western American culture system, which is the idea of individuality. So that's why capitalism came from those, right? So the idea of profit, my company profit. But in many other culture, Asian culture, and hopefully in Nusa Tenggara Timur, the idea of group, marga, or whatever, community is still important. So isn't that the argument of social entrepreneurship is really aligned with the core of the cultural value of the locals, right? So, and we know that there's a very famous Professor Muhammad Yunus from Bangladesh with microcredit and so forth, helping particularly women that tend to be not have access to a typical bank. And so the idea of social justice and responsibility, yes, is very much important. And thankfully, I feel that for the younger people, it is become there almost like natural. The last 10 years or so, my thesis student more about designing for the poor, favelas, slums, and so forth. Unlike during my era, designing kind of impressive museum and so forth. And of course, we know Romo Mangun, Kampung Kalijodo, from our own Indonesian heritage. Yes, how he designed that. But in architecture, in the United States, Sam Mockbee, he's an Auburn University professor in Alabama. And Alabama is one of the most lagging state in the United States, and particularly for the African American population. So they're very poor and so forth. But look at, someone might be creating a studio in his university, try to help the less fortunate, and instead of, this is one important thing, instead of thinking that to help and then just whatever it is, he and his students try to design in the most quality architecture. So it's not because they are poor, we can just do whatever we want, right?
Okay.
And the argument, always my argument to my student, because they are the one that need help, you need to give your most attention. As simple as that, yes? The janitors, they are the one that need help. All those CEOs, and they already have everything, we still need to respect, but they have so much. So when we're talking globalization and this kind of big shark from Finding Nemo and so forth, but there's the notion of global paradox, right? And in such a way that initially the thought that globalization become like standard, everything universal, the world is flat, and then in reality, every region will all maintain its uniqueness, right? Okay. So that's the idea of localization. Initially still from global, they tried to make adjustment to the local, like McDonald's, and have menu like rice and so forth. But then in the next evolution, it's like a loop, like not just one direction. So from bottom to the top, from the local to the global to inform the other. So it's become a cycle, right? Because if you look at it, anything in global, it starts in local. Steve Jobs, from the founder of Apple, from his garage, local, become global, and so forth. So once a global, they have to make adjustment to a local. So
okay.
It depends like a chicken and egg.
Hello,
so it
Prof.
depends on where you are. Okay, it's almost time.
Yeah,
okay.
Prof. We would like to hear more from you, probably from the question and answers from the audience, whether online or
okay.
virtual.
So that's
Prof.
good. So probably I can use that and connected this.
Ya, terima kasih, Prof. Ada satu
so
kalimat.
How many minutes I still have for quickly?
Ya, terima kasih, Prof. Ada satu kalimat yang sangat menarik dari Prof. Riyadi. Beliau mengatakan bahwa social entrepreneurship is not a job. Bukan sebuah pekerjaan, tetapi itu a vocation, sebuah panggilan. Thank you so much for this inspiring words, Prof.
Yes.
Ada pertanyaan dari audiens yang di sini?
Silakan.
Silakan.
Nanti,
menarik.
Saya coba sambung dengan apa yang saya rencanakan.
Terima kasih, silakan. Prof. Ada dua, Prof. Ya, silakan.
Oke. Ini penting dua arah.
Ya, terima kasih, Prof. Ya.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, good morning everyone. Thanks for the time and opportunity. My name is Anchi and I'm from the accounting program. Prof, I would like to ask about what is the role of East Nusa Tenggara's culture and local wisdom in shaping a globally acceptable model of social entrepreneurship?
Well, that's something that a good question. Unfortunately, it's kind of shame. I've never been to Nusa Tenggara, so it's a paradox in our education system that we don't know much about our own culture, traditional architecture, and so forth. At least during the 1980s, we know more about the modern architecture in the Europe, US, and so forth. So I don't know whether I think I can answer specifically, but if you think simple in that, everything started from where they are, right? So I just using that example, the Steve Jobs, right? Starting from where he is, but he analyzing the pattern, the opportunity, or Jeff Bezos with Amazon and everything. It started from where, so with that, in principle, I don't see why not. Something that's specific from Nusa Tenggara, and looking that in the social entrepreneurs, then what are the main, so we are in this slide, the issues and the society there. The people, right? There are some less fortunate, disadvantaged economically or socially. So there's something about that that can be take a look. And the planet, for example, natural environment like water, it's a kind of dry, arid, so clean water, and so forth. So how then an initiative responding all of these needs and in a way can be profitable in a sense it become sustainable as an activity, yes? So answering your question, it could be from anywhere.
Yeah,
it could be from Alabama, could be from anywhere. But then it's that thing that the person need to be really, really aware, creative, sensitive, analyzing that. In anthropology, there's notion of emic. Emic is the person inside the society. But there's an ethic, that's another possibility. Someone, an outsider, can have a clear, objective view as well. So hopefully that answer can somewhat answer your question. Yes?
Yeah. Prof, I see that Anchi is smiling, so it shows that Anchi is happy with your answer, Prof.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And in any case, actually here, while waiting for name,
masih ada satu lagi, Prof. There is another one. Yeah, another one question, Prof.
Yes, but maybe Auntie, did you see the slide?
Yes, Prof.
Basically, in that movie, there's a quote, there's excellence all around you. Right there in Kupang, Nusa Tenggara Timur. You need only be aware to stop and celebrate it.
Terima kasih, Prof. Stop and celebrate it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Prof. There is another question from a friend of Anchi. Silakan, coba. Ini pertanyaan terakhir, the last questions because we are running short of time. Yeah, silakan.
Okay. Yeah. It's so fun. Yes.
Okay, good morning, Prof.
They enjoy your material, Prof. Yeah.
I'm already done. Okay. Actually, only one more slide.
Yeah, one more questions, please.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Good morning, Prof. My name is Merlin. I'm from accounting study. Okay, how do social entrepreneurs in NTT face the challenge of global competition while maintaining their social mission and environmental sustainability? And how do you think it differs from the country you are currently in? Is there something that might actually exist in NTT but we are not aware of? Thank you.
I think that's where probably the best way, right, instead of being specific, is to understand the underlying issue. What's the real issue? What's the principle? And what is the pattern? So the ability to, as an analogy, to swim and really go under deep to the bottom of the ocean to understand that. And where that's Arafuru Ocean or Banda Ocean or Java Ocean, it's somewhat inconsequential because everything will be different. But the ability and the desire to really understanding the habitat means the nature, the people, and everything as not just a partial entity, as a system. And that's the difficult part because that keep on like a snapshot of a complex system, and yet it somewhat changes as well. But again, why not, right? Probably all the questions about almost like what will be the advantage or possibility in Nusa Tenggara Timur. And again, I left in Indonesia in 1990 for some reason. You know, I don't want to go into politics, but the tendency to really to Java-centric still problematic, and hopefully it's still getting better. But because of it, my attitude personally, not blaming others, but make yourself tougher, right? So here, from Ratatouille movie, so many of you may want to watch the movie. It's a beautiful movie, but there's a lot of wisdom. So this is something Chef Anton Gusto, right, says something like this: anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great, be a chef, and make a great recipe. So anyone can become a quote-unquote entrepreneur, right? But only the bold, the courageous, the brave can be truly impactful an agent of change for positive, helping the society. But you need to be brave, be bold, yes? And I don't know, when I was small, I read a lot of, in Balai Pustaka book from about nelayan in Timor, and they tend to be very tough, right? Okay. So why not, right?
Yes.
By the way, I'm from Japanese.
Yeah.
Now, that's one thing. Hopefully that makes sense, yes? Be bold and brave. There are power and magic in them. So whenever you go everywhere, be confident, be humble, and be respectful. And that's why important when I started teaching, and they have like a special workshop for this international faculty. And there is one advice that I still remember. That's from 1992. If you have students from Asia, you need to really focus to fill their heart, because they usually have enough knowledge, but they sometimes need to be more confident and so forth. Almost the opposite. American students, usually they are so confident, so your job to fill their brain, their head. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, terima kasih
so
banyak,
now
Prof.
This is the world that we need to be both, yes?
Hello, Prof.
That's the last quote. This is maybe my last opportunity. Anton Ego, the food critics, after tasting ratatouille. Ratatouille is a peasant soup in the French, for the Frenchman, right? So when he got that menu, he thought, what is this? This is a 5-star restaurant, and this is like, jajan pasar, gitu. Yes? But once he tasted, it's so good, he reminded when he was a small boy. Watch the movie. And he then, after that, he said like this: not everyone can become a great artist, yes? But a great artist can come from anywhere. So not everyone can become a great entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, of course, right? But a great social entrepreneur can come from anywhere, from Nusa Tenggara Timur. Why not?
Terima kasih banyak, kita berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah.
Okay.
Terima kasih.
Okay, udah malam
Terima
di sini.
kasih. Thank you for lots of motivational expressions for us this morning, Prof. Ria di Amerika sekarang sudah
membantu.
Iya, sekarang di Amerika sudah mau mendekati jam 11, Prof. Tapi kami di sini, kami di sini masih semangat. Terima kasih banyak, Prof.
Oke, sukses. Oke.
Ya, terima kasih. Kami mau serahkan sertifikat online, Prof. Jadi kita foto-foto dulu, Prof. Ya. Terima kasih, MC.
Thank you, Professor Yadi Aditya Farmer for the enlightening and inspiring presentation. We will now move
That's
to.
what I hope.
We will now move to the certificate awarding and photo session. So we would like to ask you to keep your camera on as the IT team capture this special moment. Please be ready as my call. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I now return to the session for the moderator.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Terima kasih, Prof. Good luck and God bless you in the United States. Terima kasih.
Kita lanjut kerjasama, insya Allah.
Iya, nanti sampai jumpa di Kupang, Prof. Terima
sampai
kasih.
Sampai jumpa, yes.
My dear audience, we still have one more session to go, but this time is not online but offline. Ya, jadi kita sangat senang kalau dari tadi kita nonton saja di layar. Di sesi terakhir ini kita lihat langsung pembicaranya di hadapan kita. Untuk itu kita berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Ibu Nona Hana Keraf. Ya. Ya, tempat duduk Ibu Hana. Terima kasih, luar biasa ya. Naik di atas panggung dengan senyum karena memang senyum membuat dunia menjadi lebih indah melalui usaha-usaha sosial. Ibu Hana Keraf ini sudah lama saya dengar tapi baru hari ini bertemu. Terima kasih banyak. Thank you for sharing your time to come here this morning with all of us. Adik-adik semua, Bapak Ibu, audience whether online or offline who are sitting here. Ibu Hana Keraf ini akan berbagi cerita best practices tentang social services, community services di Indonesia. Saya pikir juga di internasional ya. Nama beliau itu sudah tidak asing lagi. Kita mengenal banyak dengan dunia usaha anyaman. Itu bagaimana pemberdayaan perempuan di Indonesia di beberapa tempat, tidak hanya di NTT tetapi juga di beberapa bagian lain termasuk di Kalimantan. Dan kita senang sekali hari ini kita bisa bertemu langsung dengan Ibu Hana Keraf. Ibu Hana, saya tidak tahu Ibu Hana Keraf ini dari mana, tapi kalau dengar nama Keraf itu saya berpikir mungkin dari Lembata kah, dari Flores Timur kah. Nanti Ibu cerita sedikit kepada kami tentang backgroundnya yang begitu luar biasa. Adik-adik, Ibu Hana Keraf ini adalah salah satu Women of the Year di tahun 2018, Her World of Indonesia. Kita berikan tepuk tangannya. Beliau juga masuk itu Kick Andy Heroes atau Kick Andy Young Heroes di tahun 2020. Kalau mau nonton beliau, nonton saja di YouTube sana ya. Beliau masuk di Kick Andy Young Heroes. Kemudian juga ada banyak sekali award yang telah beliau terima. Saya pikir tadi usia sudah di atas 50, ternyata ini masih di bawah 50 dengan seabrek with long of social careers. And we are in a great honor, kami sangat terhormat untuk dikunjungi oleh Ibu pagi hari ini, sekaligus juga mengunjungi all the audience who are following these sessions online. Ibu, we can't wait to hear from you, so the time is yours for about 30 minutes and then 15 minutes for question and answer sessions. Terima kasih Ibu, thank you so much. Ya.
Oke, tes. Ya, saya berdiri aja ya.
Terima kasih.
First of all, thank you very much for having me today. This is only my second time of sharing and standing in front of an audience of young NTTers, people from NTT, and it's always intimidating to come back to NTT and share in front of all the youth or younger generation. Before I start my presentation, does anyone here ever heard about Guanyam? Anyone? No? Wow, thank you. One? Oh wow, very interesting. Remembering that the two questions in the earlier session were asking about the context of
social entrepreneurs in East Nusa Tenggara and how it can cope with the global market, the global trend, and then also still having the identity of the local context. It's quite interesting that not a lot of you know that there's a social enterprise in NTT, and one of it is Duanyam. But rest assured, today I will be sharing more about Duanyam itself. And before I start, can I have the video?
Sure, thank you.
Yes. And yes, answering your questions earlier.
Untuk sampai ada putarnya.
Gambarnya belum ya?
Video dan gambar ya.
Yeah, answering your questions before, I am from Lembata.
Oh, okay, from Lembata. Kita berikan tepuk tangan lagi dulu.
Untuk sampai ada putarnya.
Belum. Ya. Tapi boleh diulang dari awal?
Untuk sampai ada putarnya.
Warna putih.
Thank you. So now let me share a little bit. Thank you. So now let me share a little bit about Duanyam, the social enterprise that is sourcing hundreds of thousands of weaving products from East Nusa Tenggara all the way to more than 50 countries all around the world. So anywhere you go in the world, in the countries that has the branch of IKEA, you will find a small piece of East Nusa Tenggara, and it's 100% made in villages in East Nusa Tenggara. Okay? Next slide. Yes, so Duanyam stands for Du-anyam, Dua, menganyam. Dua in bahasa Maumere, in Maumere dialect means mother, and then there's weaving in bahasa Indonesia means weaving, menganyam. So Duanyam literally means ibu menganyam. And we were established back in 2014, so we're entering our 11th year. This year is our 11th year, and last year is our 10th year. And we are working with more than 1,600 weavers. Majority are in East Flores, and we are selling to more than 1,500 buyers all around Indonesia and all around the world. So when people say products from East Nusa Tenggara has difficulties in accessing market, we challenge them, and that is not the case. So there are people that are willing to buy products from East Nusa Tenggara consistently, and this has been going on for more than a decade, more than 10 years. And we are the only one in Indonesia, the only social enterprise in Indonesia that is supplying through social entrepreneur, social impact initiative by IKEA, and this has contributed a lot to all the income increase for the women that work with us. So Duanyam is not a foundation, Duanyam is a company, it's a for-profit. So to prove to people that social impact and business can actually walk together alongside one another. So we don't always have to build a foundation when we want to provide impact, But if we want a sustainable impact, we can start by building a business. And I believe majority of you here are from the Faculty of Economic and Business, correct? Yeah, so you guys actually have all the opportunities, all the knowledge, all the network to actually start your own business and actually provide more impact for East Nusa Tenggara. And the reason being is because social enterprise needs two types of capital. One, as any other business, social enterprise needs financial impact. But the second, as a social enterprise, we need the second one is what is called a social capital. Social capital is when you have the trust from the community that you want to work with. And that is both capitals is what Duanyam have since the beginning, and that is also what helps Duanyam to grow into what it is 11 years after. Okay, next. So what Duanyam does is we include those who are not usually or typically included in the formal employment. We're talking about women that haven't finished their basic education, elementary school, for example. We're talking about women in villages that are at the age of productive anymore. We're talking about 40 above, 50, 60, and even more. But they are part of those who can still actually work and actually contribute to the local economy. And we're also working with women, especially women that are main family provider. East Flores, we know East Flores is one of the district that contributes to illegal migrant worker. They're very prone to dangerous working environment because they don't have any other option of employment or economic opportunities. And then lastly, we work with those who are majority working just to generate food, not specifically cash. So we're talking about women in fishers. We're talking also about women in agriculture. So they are not the typical group of people that any other company or any government agency would want to hire as formal employees. So they are very prone to any economic risk, and they are the majority that waits for the subsidy or free cash programs from the government. So we include them, and we work with more than 1,600 women from this type of group. Okay? So what does Duanyam do? So in the beginning, we saw that the background of the problem that with the group that we work with is that they have limited access towards cash. When they work to get food, to make sure that they can provide the meal for tomorrow, for tonight, but they don't specifically work in order to generate cash consistently. So we also see that women, they have this specific skill, which is weaving, that fits with the existing market, where the potential market is actually available. And we try to also see that the resources of raw material of Palmyra is actually available in the local area. So we combine the existing skill together with the existing raw material, and then try to meet that with the potential market opportunities. And that is quite the simple concept of idea when we try to build Duanyam. And then what does Duanyam do? We try to build the supply chain. This is maybe something quite foreign. Supply chain or rantai pasok. So we built what's called supply chain, one of the biggest challenge in East Nusa Tenggara being an archipelago province itself. Shipping from East Flores to Kupang is quite expensive, let alone shipping from Kupang to outside of East Nusa Tenggara. For example, in our case, shipping one container from Larantuka to Jakarta, Tanjung Priok, is 3 times more expensive than shipping from Jakarta to Hong Kong. Can you imagine how difficult it is to actually build, how expensive it is to actually build and also sell products from East Nusa Tenggara? So what we see is we have to find solutions that are consistent solution from the business perspective. How can we actually reduce that cost and make sure that just because it's expensive, just because of the infrastructure is lacking, it's underdeveloped, doesn't mean that we cannot include these women, this group of women, in the workforce. So we have to use business approaches. We're talking also about product designs. We're talking also about making sure that we can increase the productivity so we can make sure that more products are sold, means cheaper logistic cost. So everything has to be seen from the perspective of entrepreneur or business side. Because at the end of the day, we can only help ourselves. We cannot wait for other people to help us, right? And through how we do that is also we try to provide product designs. How can you imagine a container, a huge big container, how we can put in and maximize a huge number of products to make sure that the cost of logistics is low. We also provide the training for that specific design of product. We train also in the quality of the product itself. And then also at the end of the day, the market is always there. We make sure that whatever product the women provides or they make, there is a market that will always buy the products. So they're not working for free. We're not only training and then leave them behind. We train and we say, good luck, find your own market. We don't do that. We train them, we involve them in the supply chain, and we make sure that there is a market access that is consistent and sustainable to purchase the products of these women. And at the end of the day, we also collaborate with other partners in providing what we call scholarship, what we call nutritional food product program, PMT, nowadays maybe MBG, what people call. And then at the end, that's how we try to provide consistent income in form of cash in the villages, with the women and the villages that we work at. So every 1 week or 2 weeks, the women get paid in the form of cash or transferred to their bank account, and then that's the income that they receive. Okay? So this is the business model. Duanyam, quite important for you guys that are studying economic and business. So what Duanyam does is we source the raw material. We make sure that women do not have to climb their own palmyra leaf. It's quite rare, jarang ya lihat perempuan manjat pohon lontar, mungkin hampir tidak ada. Tapi saya tahu di Lembata, Flores Timur ada 1-2. But we work with the men. Kita bekerja dengan laki-lakinya. We work with the men, the husbands, the fathers, the uncles, the brothers, the sons of the weavers that we work with. They are the ones that does the harvesting of the palmyra leaves. The palmyra leaves then we purchase, we buy from the men, and then we make sure that these palmyra leaves are distributed with the right quality, with the right quantity, on-time delivery, to make sure that every container that goes out of Larantuka, they leave on time. So we have to make sure every step in this business process, it has to be bookkept. We have to analyze all the timing throughout the whole supply chain. Semua proses ini harus dibikin sistemnya. Kalau tidak ada sistemnya, semua produk akan terkirim berantakan, dan kalau produk berantakan, kita tidak bisa memastikan pendapatan untuk ibu-ibu, pembeli tidak akan suka, dan semua itu harus berangkat bahkan dari hal sekecil mengkomunikasikan produk apa yang akan diminta oleh pembeli. Jadi semua harus dicatat. Duanyam tidak bisa menganyam, saya 11 tahun mengerjakan duanyam, saya sampai hari ini tidak bisa menganyam. 2 teman SMP SMA saya yang lain yang punya duanyam juga tidak bisa. Yang duanyam bisa adalah membangun rantai pasok. And that is what is very important for East Nusa Tenggara. And then after that, the raw material, we provide training for the women to make sure the quality. And then after that, we pay the women regularly, we do the quality control, we ship them to the market, and the cycle goes on. So we make sure that there is an increase of income, and all the principles of supply chain is fulfilled throughout this process. Next. This, I think, makes social enterprise different from any other for-profit companies. We make sure that we provide capacity building trainings throughout the year. Every year we provide more than 500 to 700 trainings to make sure that it's not only about weaving, but we also provide trainings on public speaking, decision making, bookkeeping, name it, anything, even through to digitalization. We have weavers that penganyam lulusan SD sekarang bisa pakai Google Meet, bisa bikin Google Calendar, mungkin teman-teman juga belum sehari-hari menggunakan, tapi penganyam duanyam selalu diberikan pelatihan tersebut dan mampu menggunakan laptop, malah beberapa penganyam kita sekarang yang awalnya bahkan smartphone saja tidak bisa. Tapi selalu inklusif pada grup perempuan ini dan melibatkan mereka dalam semua proses, pada akhirnya akan mentransfer knowledge dan skill ke mereka dan akan membantu Duanyam sebagai perusahaan juga untuk berkembang lebih banyak. Tidak mungkin kita sebagai leader sendiri yang berkembang, tetapi harus dari yang paling bawah pun ikut berkembang, bertumbuh bersama dengan leadersnya. Oke? Jadi other than economic income is, I think, the easiest one to measure. We just have to make sure that every bookkeeping is correct. But we also provide with social impact programs. We've provided lebih dari 6.000 porsi PMT, makanan bergizi untuk anak-anak, cucu penganyam kami yang ada di ambang batas stunting. Kami kerjasama dengan Posyandu, Polines Puskesmas. Sampai hari ini 500 belum update, tapi sampai hari ini Duanyam sudah memberikan hampir 700 beasiswa. Kalau tidak salah ada 2 atau 3 yang juga kuliah di Kupang, tapi bukan di Unika, di kampus yang lain. Ada juga yang sampai ke Jawa. Lalu untuk ibu-ibu yang cukup usia, for the elder weavers, we provide kacamata, karena matanya sudah tidak terlalu bagus. Dan for some of the households that doesn't have access towards electricity, kita juga memberikan lampu-lampu surya. Kita juga pernah masuk dalam mulok, weaving. We want to make sure, karena sekarang udah tahun ke-11, we see a lot of younger weavers now. We have weavers as young as 21. Sudah mulai ada penganyam-penganyam yang sangat muda. Kami tidak bisa kerjasama dengan penganyam yang di bawah umur, di bawah 17, dilarang oleh pembeli kami. So, jadi penganyam paling muda kami itu kalau tidak salah 20 atau 21. Dan ini caranya adalah kita masuk ke mulok supaya memastikan menganyam itu menjadi sebuah skill yang terus bisa dilestarikan. Oke? Ini beberapa perubahan juga yang we see kepentingnya kehadiran social enterprise di tengah komunitas. It's very important. It's not always about economy. Of course, you provide income for women. Women can have their own decision making. Sekalinya perempuan sudah memiliki uang untuk dirinya sendiri, dia bisa menentukan lebih baik saya beli makanan untuk anak saya dibandingkan saya beli rokok untuk suami saya, contohnya. Jadi once women have financial income, they have that independency, kekuatan to decide, dan mungkin yang paling hebat adalah karena mereka sudah punya pendapatan konsisten, mereka bisa merencanakan masa depan. Ada yang anaknya kelas 2 SMA, dia sudah merencanakan dengan uang menganyam selama 2 tahun ke depan sampai anaknya wisuda, dia akan kuliahkan anaknya, dan semua dengan uang menganyam. Jadi that is the importance of social entrepreneurship. Sedikit berbeda dengan kalau kita bicara yayasan. Kalau yayasan umumnya adalah memberikan pelatihan gitu, memberikan kekuatan, kapasitas, tapi belum tentu pendapatannya akan konsisten sesudah itu. Tapi ketika kita bangun bisnis, kita secara konsisten bisa memberikan pendapatan tambahan. Oke. Ini proses rantai pasok sangat simpel di Duanyam. Bahan baku, pengolahan bahan baku, penyuiran, kemudian menganyam, QC, dan kemudian sampai produk terakhir. Dan semua proses ini ada pembayaran yang diberikan. Jadi bukan hanya menganyam dapat uang, tapi dari bahan baku, from harvesting the raw material, to preserving the raw material, processing the raw material, to weaving, to QC, even quality control, you get paid. So all this process, there is an economic income for whoever who are involved. So we're also talking peningkatan pendapatan di ojek-ojek yang bahkan bukan pegawai Duanyam. Peningkatan pendapatan di ABK, anak buah kapal-kapal yang dipakai oleh Duanyam, karena Duanyam banyak di Pulau Solor, kalau ada yang familiar ada di Flores Timur, dan seterusnya gitu. Jadi peningkatan ekonominya itu bukan hanya untuk di dalam Duanyam, tapi kalau kita membuat bisnis, peningkatan ripple effect, atau kalau kita buang batu ke air, dia ada ya apa bahasa Indonesia ya, itu ada dampaknya. Ada riak-riaknya. Nah, ini adalah efek riak dari bisnis sendiri, bukan hanya untuk di dalam bisnis, tetapi juga untuk semua yang terlibat dalam bisnis ada peningkatan ekonomi, dan jangan lupa kontribusi pada PAD juga, buat pemerintah daerah. Oke? These are some of our products. Saya tidak bawa produknya, biasanya saya ada. Tapi these are some of our products. We divided into 2 types of products. One is home decor, produk-produk yang menghiasi ruangan. Orang-orang biasa beli yang sebelah kiri, ini yang biasanya untuk pasar luar negeri. And then we also have what we call fashion accessories. Ini adalah produk-produk yang bisa dipakai, laptop bag, wallet, and so on. Also, Duanyam has won several international Design Awards, and these Design Awards, penghargaan desain produk ini menunjukkan bahwa produk dari NTT bisa bersaing di penghargaan internasional. Oke. Ini beberapa kolaborasi juga, mungkin teman-teman ada yang familiar dengan beberapa brand di sini. IKEA ini perusahaan furniture retail terbesar di dunia. Dia ada di cabangnya kalau tidak salah lebih dari 70 negara. Lalu kemudian kita juga kerjasama dengan The Body Shop, teman-teman kalau di mall Lipo juga ada. Kita juga kerjasama dengan Body Shop. 2018 kami menjadi satu-satunya social enterprise, kewirausahaan sosial, dan perusahaan kerajinan tangan di Indonesia yang menjadi souvenir resmi Asian Games 2018, 17.000 produk dari Flores Timur, dan Asian Games itu ajang olahraga terbesar kedua di dunia setelah Olimpiade, dan waktu itu Indonesia tuan rumah. Dan ini di sebelah kiri ada beberapa brand-brand yang menjadi pembeli dari Duanyam, tapi sekarang udah jauh lebih banyak ya, ada lebih dari 1.500 pembeli perusahaan. Duanyam selalu, we always sell B2B, kami selalu menjual produknya dalam jumlah banyak, tidak pernah jual satuan. Jadi kalau teman-teman, if you go to Tokopedia, Shopee, all the marketplaces, we are available there, kita ada di sana, tapi kita tidak terlalu menjual itu lebih untuk kalau orang tanya mau beli satu di mana ya, belinya ke Tokopedia dan Shopee. Tapi Duanyam lebih banyak, lebih dari 95% our sales goes through B2B. Kenapa B2B? Kami selalu menjual dalam jumlah banyak karena di belakang kami ada lebih dari 1.000 ibu-ibu yang selalu membutuhkan peningkatan pendapatan. Kalau ada lebih dari 1.000 ibu-ibu, kami hanya jual 5 kesian. Bagaimana cara memilihnya? Jadi kami harus selalu menjualnya minimal 100 produk, minimal 1.000 produk. Jadi jumlahnya cukup banyak. Like IKEA, seperti IKEA, satu kontainer keluar setiap 2 minggu, tergantung dari order, tapi kurang lebih sekitar satu kontainer isinya full anyaman, belasan ribu anyaman, keluar setiap 2 minggu sekali dari Larantuka ke Surabaya ke Hong Kong, kalau tidak salah. Oke. Nextnya, apakah kemudian social enterprise perlu beradaptasi dengan perkembangan global atau tidak? Kalau tidak salah tadi di sesi 2 juga ada yang tanya ya. Dan ternyata kita lihat juga Duanyam itu tidak bisa berjalan sendiri. Duanyam cannot be the only social enterprise di Indonesia atau di East Nusa Tenggara itself. Jadi kita cukup banyak menemukan bahwa ada teman-teman UMKM yang menghubungi gitu. Kak Hana mau dong belajar dari Duanyam, mau seperti Duanyam, gimana sih caranya jadi seperti Duanyam, and so on. Nah, terutama ketika pandemi itu meningkat sekali permintaannya. Dan kami juga belajar bahwa ternyata apa yang Duanyam lakukan tuh sebenarnya tidak wah itu gitu, tidak sulit untuk melakukan yang Duanyam lakukan. Sebenarnya di-copy oleh siapapun tuh bisa yang dilakukan oleh Duanyam. Lagi-lagi karena what we do is not we build the weaving product, what we do is we build the supply chain. Nah jadi kita coba lihat what is the difficulties for other SMEs to actually adapt and copy what Duanyam does. Jadi kita lihat oh ternyata ketika UMKM yang lain, SMEs yang lain itu mau mengikuti apa yang Duanyam lakukan, ternyata tantangannya adalah limited in education, in entrepreneurship. Makanya teman-teman di sini seharusnya seneng nih karena kalian kan kuliahnya ekonomi bisnis. You guys have direct access towards knowledge and information on how to build a business. You get the network from your faculty to get connected to people like me who has already been in the industry for quite some time. Jadi kalian sebenarnya memiliki keunggulan itu, kalian memiliki akses tersebut. Lalu yang berikutnya adalah limited support system gitu. Mau belajar tapi tanya ke siapa, nanti kalau gagal udah belajar mau nanya lagi ke siapa lagi gitu. Where is the support system to actually build the business itself? Lalu yang terakhir adalah ternyata bisnis prosesnya sendiri itu juga masih menjadi tantangan. Nah karena kita lihat oh ini sebenarnya apa yang Duanyam juga alami dan kita mencoba untuk make that available for other social enterprise. Di 2021 kami memutuskan to build Duanyam's sister company atau anak perusahaan dari Duanyam namanya Krealogi. Krealogi singkatannya dari kreatif, logi, ilmu, artinya ilmu kreatif. Harapan kami, we can make available what Duanyam has to be learned and studied by other entrepreneurs, especially who wants to work with social communities in remote areas of Indonesia, jadi bisa belajar dari Duanyam. Oke? Dan dari 2021 sendiri, Krealogi sudah melatih, we've trained more than 11,000 SMEs, paling banyak memang sebenarnya di salah satu yang paling banyak di East Nusa Tenggara, We provide them with incubation, access towards the right partners to build your business. We provide them with education as well, and so on. So throughout the process of SMEs, they want to build a business. They said they want to learn what Duanyam does. They can go to Kreologi and learn what Duanyam does through the team of Kreologi. Okay? Yeah, sorry, ini a little bit of the summary of what Duanyam does, what Kreologi does. And in order to incubate and work with other SMEs, Kreologi actually works with different partners yang di bawah ini, mitra-mitra yang bekerja dengan Kreologi untuk memberikan inkubasi kepada UMKM-UMKM di seluruh Indonesia. Dan biasanya wilayah yang dipilih oleh Kreologi, where we work at, with the community that we work with, are communities that are very similar to the community of Duanyam. Okay, tinggal sedikit lagi. Nah, these are some of the areas that Kreologi works. If Duanyam works in NTT only, in Isu Tenggara only, Kreologi works in more than 200 cities or districts all around Indonesia, so we have more context of what building a small business is in different areas of Indonesia. Okay? And also Kreologi tries to provide impact. These are some of our SDG goals. We try to be consistent in providing trainings, especially for those who are not tapped in by the formal employment, so we try to be inclusive. We focus on providing access towards increase of income. Women will always be part of our priority, and then we also try to work in preserving and conserving the green areas. Okay. And this is a type of example with what we do. This is not Duanyam, this is what Kreologi does. So we work in supply chain on the left side. The supply chain, we make sure that there is access towards raw materials, building the organization itself, adaptation towards technology. Kreologi has the apps as the technology for SMEs to actually do the bookkeeping and so on in operation of the business. And then we also provide them with increase of knowledge in marketing, strategic partnership, promotion, and then we make sure that there is always market access. We develop the market for sustainable and consistent market access for the SMEs that we work with. Okay, I think that's all for me. I hope there was something interesting and something that you guys can learn from, and it can be benefiting for you guys. Thank you.
Terima kasih, kita berikan tepuk tangan. Okay, so now the session is given to you to continue our discussions by question and answers. Okay, baik. Saya mulai dari, I start from that side first. Yeah. Please tell us your name and then your questions. Ibu, ini sangat menarik sehingga yang angkat tangan ini dari sisi kanan, kiri, depan, belakang juga mau tanya. Melalui HP juga ada pertanyaan. Jadi there are lots of questions from the floors. Okay, we start with the first questions. Silakan adik, introduce yourself and then your question.
Okay, thank you for time for me. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Antoni Teivina Cindy Kunjara. Hi, Mrs. Anna. My question is, as a company founded by a powerful woman, what unique strengths do you think women-led social enterprises like Duanyam bring to the table? And what is the biggest challenge you've faced, especially as women entrepreneurs? Thank you.
Yeah, Ibu,
okay.
Silakan.
Thank you very much. Can I get the question correct? So you're asking as a company that is built by women, what do we bring differently to the table? That's one, and then the second is our biggest challenge. Am I correct?
Okay, can I replay? As a company founded by a powerful woman, what unique strengths do you think women-led social enterprises like Duanyam bring to the table? And what is the biggest challenge you've faced, especially as women entrepreneurs? Thank you.
Thank you. The first one, I think it doesn't have to be powerful women. I mean, the three of us started, sedikit latar belakang, kami bertiga teman SMP, SMA, kami kuliah ke 3 kampus yang berbeda, kembali dan kemudian karena masih temenan kami memutuskan membangun 2 Anyam. So nothing powerful about us. Kami memulai di umur lulus kuliah, jadi bentar lagi ya kira-kira umur-umur kalian lah dulu gitu. So I think what Do Anyam as a women-founded company can bring differently to the table is to actually be a company that is mindful towards women in workforce. Artinya lebih punya empati dan lebih memahami perempuan di dalam menjadi seorang karyawan. Kami sangat mengizinkan misalnya teman-teman tim yang sudah misalnya memiliki anak atau sudah berkeluarga untuk tidak perlu jam kerjanya itu harus benar-benar jam 9 sampai jam 5 gitu. Kami lebih memiliki empati di sana, lebih mindful di sana. Atau kami juga bisa menunjukkan bagaimana perempuan itu bisa tegas, tetapi juga tidak menjadi selalu kayak punya bos perempuan tuh sangat menyebalkan gitu misalnya. Jadi kami bisa menjadi contoh juga untuk banyak anak muda perempuan di luar sana bahwa menjadi perempuan dan memiliki bisnis itu juga sangat bisa gitu. Mungkin itu kali ya yang menurut saya cukup berbeda. Dan kalau Do Anyam tidak didirikan oleh 3 perempuan, misalnya ada 1 laki-laki pun gitu ya, mungkin Do Anyam tidak akan bisa bekerja dengan ribuan perempuan gitu. Karena ibu-ibu ini mereka sangat melihat contoh dari kami bertiga gitu. Kalau kami perempuan bisa, mereka juga bisa. Tapi kalau mungkin yang datang itu lebih banyak laki-laki, ya mungkin mereka akan bilang, dia kan bisa karena laki-laki gitu. Nah tapi kalau sama-sama perempuan yang datang, ibu-ibu jadi lebih bisa bercerita, lebih vulnerable, lebih terbuka, lebih rapuh gitu ya, lebih mau terbuka kepada kami, dan itu sangat membantu kami dari 2014 sampai dengan hari ini. Itu, dan banyak dijadikan contoh juga bagaimana kami kepemimpinan perempuan di dalam Do Anyam itu menjadi contoh untuk social enterprise atau UMKM yang lain. Lalu mungkin contoh lain kami bawa ke kreologi adalah baru-baru aja gini, yang baru kejadian juga adalah kami banyak melakukan pelatihan dengan perempuan. Dan kalau pelatihan dengan perempuan yang terjadi pasti ada anak-anak yang lari kiri kanan. Mau dia punya anak, mau dia punya cucu. Tapi kan tidak mungkin kita usir pulang. Jadi apa yang kreologi lakukan, bukannya kita bilang, sudahlah tidak usah latihan dengan perempuan, kita pelatihan dengan laki-laki saja. Tapi yang kemudian kreologi lakukan adalah kami membangun daycare atau tempat penitipan anak di setiap pelatihan kami dengan perempuan. Jadi kami bekerja dengan guru PAUD, jadi ibu-ibu mamanya mereka atau neneknya mereka tetap bisa pelatihan dengan kami, tetapi anak-anak dan cucunya itu di ruangan sebelah dapat kelas daycare, kelas penitipan anak dengan guru PAUD. Atau di Kalimantan Barat kami kerja dengan gereja juga, jadi anak-anak muda Mudika OMK-nya itu pemuda Katoliknya, itu mereka juga ada yang mengisi kelas-kelas daycare tersebut gitu. Jadi mungkin kalau misalnya didirikan oleh laki-laki tidak akan se-mindful itu. Of course bisa didebat, tapi menurut saya kayaknya kalau didirikan laki-laki mungkin tidak se-mindful itu. Lalu yang kedua, challenge sebagai perempuan, banyak ya, mungkin saya tidak cukup waktu untuk menceritakan, tapi mungkin beberapa adalah perempuan itu kalau keras atau marah dibilangnya galak, judes gitu ya, dibilangnya perempuan apa ini begini. Tapi kalau laki-laki marah dibilang dia tegas sekali ya, keren sekali gitu. Jadi perempuan tuh selalu punya image yang sangat berbeda gitu ketika ada menjadi seorang pemimpin. Dan itu satu. Terus kemudian mungkin juga challenge-nya adalah banyak lebih pakai hati. Jadi kadang mengambil keputusan yang sangat business oriented atau sangat harus dengan logika tuh juga kadang mungkin menjadi tantangan. Sering kami membandingkan diri juga dengan pemimpin bisnis yang isinya laki-laki, mereka tuh bisa kayak misalnya ditanya target kalian berapa? 1 juta orang gitu. Sedangkan kami yang perempuan mungkin 1000 saja kali ya. kita dengan 1.000 orang saja, jadi lebih hati-hati, lebih mindful gitu, lebih banyak berpikir. Tapi kalau dengan laki-laki itu sangat mimpinya tuh besar gitu, jadi mereka lebih agresif gitu. Nah itu mungkin yang juga lumayan membedakan. Mungkin itu sih dari saya. Kasih.
Baik, terima kasih. Sambil menunggu mic-nya bergerak ke arah timur, there is a questions offline. Ibu. Perkenalkan, my name is Agustin Lopez Amaral. Currently I'm doing my research regarding lontar waving. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There are some questions that I need to ask. The first one is about segmen pasar, marketing segment. Mana yang paling tertarik dengan kemasan lontar ini? Apakah wisatawan, UMKM, local, or export market? And then, adakah bentuk dukungan yang diharapkan dari pemerintah, akademisi, dan pihak swasta to develop this business? Kemudian apakah Ibu pernah bekerja sama dengan desainer, peneliti, or university in developing the designs of kemasan itu?
Oke.
Thank you, Ibu.
Yang pertama apa tadi, Pak?
Yang pertama itu segmen pasar.
Oh ya, segmen pasar.
Which,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Segmen pasar, the biggest one is of course export. Somehow orang luar negeri lebih suka produk dalam negeri. It's quite difficult and challenging to sell our products inside of Indonesia, but always as an entrepreneur you have to cope and adapt with market trends. So kadang-kadang juga bukan cuma soal siapa yang suka, tapi bagaimana kita bisa membuat pasar itu ada. Kalau udah masuk tahun ke-11 kayaknya udah nggak bisa menunggu nanti Tuhan tolong, tapi udah harus benar-benar putar otak gitu ya kan, Tuhan kasih kita otak untuk berpikir dan bekerja. Jadi udah masuk tahun ke-11, we not only target existing market, tapi we also make the market itself gitu. Artinya, contoh kalau tadi kan dilihat beberapa brand pembeli-pembeli kami itu ada, kalau teman-teman ada Singapore Airlines contohnya, pesawat terbang Garuda gitu. Ada beberapa perusahaan-perusahaan yang bahkan tidak akan terpikir oleh perusahaan anyaman lainnya gitu untuk kemudian bisa membeli produk anyaman. Nah itu adalah beberapa market yang kita datangi dan kemudian kita coba ajak untuk gimana nih kalau misalnya kita mau kerja sama bersama. Jadi you also have to make the market. Tapi kalau as is tanpa diintervensi sama sekali, mungkin salah satu segmen yang paling tertarik dengan produk duanya of course is export market.
Yeah, and how do you develop the unique design for each of the product?
Satu, desain itu harus datang dari dua sisi selalu. Oke, mungkin tiga. Ya ada beberapa aspek lah ya kalau desain itu. Orang selalu berpikir, people always think that desain itu harus yang paling cantik. Semua orang pikir adalah, anyamannya itu harus yang paling cantik supaya paling berbeda dari yang lain gitu. Tapi padahal setelah kami bekerja sama dengan kampus, kami kerjasama dengan ITB, Fakultas Seni Rupa dan Desain, FSDR, selama beberapa tahun. Ternyata desain itu tidak selalu tentang estetika gitu. Desain itu juga tentang fungsi, desain itu juga tentang pengiriman. Bagaimana kita bisa membuat desain produk yang produknya itu bisa muat di dalam satu kontainer maksimal gitu. Misalnya satu kontainer harga 10 juta, lalu kita kirim misalnya 1.000 produk dengan 10.000 produk. Lebih murah kirim 10.000 produk kan daripada 1.000 produk karena kontainer ukurannya hanya kan itu saja dan harganya sama. Nah, bagaimana kita bisa membuat desain produk yang bisa memuat 10.000 produk di dalam satu kontainer. Jadi desain produk itu bukan tentang estetika selalu. Desain produk itu adalah solusi untuk rantai pasok. Kita bisa mengirim lebih murah karena kami bisa memuat lebih banyak produk dalam satu kontainer karena desain produknya mengizinkan produk kami untuk dimuat lebih banyak di dalam kontainer. Lalu kemudian desain produk itu juga tentang kenyamanan perempuan bekerja. Semakin rumit anyaman, semakin banyak tuh ibu-ibu kalau didatangi, ade pinggang saya sakit lah, ade mata saya sakit lah, ade tangan saya sakit dan seterusnya. Jadi kalau ibu-ibu sudah mengeluh, itu kan artinya buat perusahaan, wah ini tidak bisa nih. Baru bikin satu produk saja mereka sudah kesulitan, apalagi kalau mau dinaikkan menjadi 100 produk gitu. Ya kan? Jadi desain produk juga tentang kenyamanan dari produsen itu sendiri. Nah pada akhirnya baru kemudian kami juga tetap perlu memperhatikan desain produk itu tentang penerimaannya di pasar. Jadi desain produk itu tidak hanya tentang estetika, tetapi itu adalah kombinasi dari berbagai aspek sehingga produk-produk duanyam bisa seperti itu.
Luar biasa, terima kasih. Saya tertegun sekali dengan penjelasan Ibu, ya sangat komprehensif. This is, I think, the last questions. Although I know that there are lot more questions, ya tapi karena kita punya waktu terbatas. Beliau sudah pegang mikrofon, jadi sebentar.
Maaf ya Pater ya, jangan marah ya Pater. Baik, terima kasih, selamat pagi Kak Hana. Saya Katrin Lamablawa dari Radio Trilolog. You have to know that I adore you so much. The reason why I'm here today is not only because I have to work, but I really want to meet you in person. Karena 2018 saya ikut festival seni dan kampung di Wulu Blolong, Solor. Pertama kalinya saya tahu Duanyam. Karena waktu itu saya tinggal dengan seorang mama, beliau janda dan beliau penganyam di Duanyam. Beliau cerita banyak tentang Duanyam. 2019 saya KKN di desa yang mama-mamanya juga binaan dari Duanyam. Sepulang KKN saya memutuskan untuk mengundang Duanyam menjadi pembicara di organisasi kemahasiswaan yang saya pimpin. Saya sempat DM Kak Hana kalau Kak Hana ingat, dan Kak Hana mengutus Kak Engki Besi untuk datang pada waktu itu. So I'm so grateful that I can meet you here today. Kak Hana, ini pertanyaannya sederhana tapi sangat reflektif. Kak Hana kan menempuh studi di luar. Sorry itu saya dari kecil Kak Hana sudah tinggal di luar. Ayah dari Kak Hana, buat teman-teman yang tidak tahu, Kak Hana ini putri mantan Menteri Lingkungan Hidup Indonesia. Saya tahu Pak Soni Keraf. Kak Hana, iya benar Bapak. Kak Hana, pertanyaan sederhana tapi reflektif. Kenapa Kak Hana memutuskan untuk pulang kampung saat banyak anak muda yang sekarang tuh mau hidupnya tuh mau meninggalkan kampung, mau menjadi PNS yang dalam tanda kutip lebih aman, mau pekerjaan-pekerjaan yang lebih aman, tapi kenapa Kak Hana sudah dapat semua kenyamanan, mau pulang kampung dan mau membantu mama-mama yang barangkali orang lain tidak memikirkan itu. Tapi kenapa Kak Hana mau memikirkan itu? Terima kasih Kak Hana.
Terima kasih, this is nice questions. Saya Pater, barangkali mungkin ada ini supaya langsung dijawab Ibu ya. Bisa Pater sedikit, tidak apa-apa. After this we are going to have lunch break, so no worries about that one. We take about 5 more minutes.
Baik, terima kasih.
Kalian barangkali supaya bisa singgung. Ya.
Izin bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, tidak apa-apa ya.
Terima kasih Pater.
Terima kasih untuk kedatangannya Mbak Hana. Saya Pater Paskali, saya kira kita sudah pernah bertemu, mungkin sudah lupa. 2 tahun lalu di Jakarta, waktu itu kebetulan ada asosiasi dari program Magister Manajemen Indonesia. Mbak Hana waktu itu dengan teman-temannya mempresentasikan tentang Duanyam juga waktu itu. Dan saya waktu itu berpikir, wah luar biasa nih anak ini ya. Saya masih punya kartu nama dari Mbak Hana. Ya, kalau kita bicara tentang kewirausahaan sosial, ya pasti bicara tentang social impact, tetapi juga tentang keberlanjutan, sustainability. Tadi saya melihat bahwa Mbak Hana sudah membuat sesuatu yang luar biasa untuk orang-orangnya sendiri di kampung halamannya, terutama ibu-ibu, dan itu sangat membuat kita bangga dengan Mbak Hana, apa yang dibuat. Tapi ada sesuatu yang mengganggu saya, pertanyaan yang mengganggu saya, karena apa yang dihasilkan oleh Mbak Hana ini kan anyaman, dan itu berarti membutuhkan raw material ya, dan itu berasal dari lontar ya, lontar atau gewang ya istilahnya itu. Bagaimana itu tentang apa? Karena kita tahu bahwa gewang itu kan tumbuhnya atau lontar itu tumbuhnya lama. Nah, bagaimana Mbak Hana mensiasati itu atau pengalaman tentang itu, tentang bahan baku yang diperlukan untuk menghasilkan produk. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Ibu Hana bisa menjawab 2 pertanyaan ini sekaligus ya. Thank you.
Saya izin jawab yang Pater dulu ya. Untuk bahan baku sendiri, beberapa cara sih yang kami lakukan. Sebenarnya bahan baku ini salah satu penyesalan saya yang paling besar. 11 tahun yang lalu partner saya tuh udah bilang gitu, sudah kita buka saja perkebunan lontar. Berapa puluh hektar lah gitu di Flores Timur atau Lembata. Waktu itu saya masih umur 20-an awal, idealis. Tidak, kita kan mau kerja dengan komunitas, janganlah kita bikin perkebunan kayak kelapa sawit gitu. Dan hari ini saya menyesal saya tidak mengambil itu gitu, mengambil keputusan tersebut karena mungkin dulu saya tidak menyangka Duanyam akan sebesar ini. Sudah bisa menjual puluhan ribu sampai ratusan ribu produk gitu per bulan dan per tahunnya. Ya, dan sekarang ya tantangan kami menjadi benar Pater, salah satunya adalah bahan baku. But the show must go on, bisnis tetap harus jalan. We do a couple of different solution gitu. Kita bermitra, salah satunya adalah dengan ada asosiasi lah di Jakarta yang mempertemukan beberapa stakeholder gitulah, yang kemudian mereka membantu kita untuk bisa menjawab apa keinginan kita ke depan gitu dengan lewat kemitraan. Nah, salah satu yang sedang kita lakukan sekarang dengan koalisi ekonomi membumi namanya di Jakarta, itu adalah kami sedang membangun kerjasama dengan beberapa desa di Lembata. Jadi Flores Timur itu akan jadi lokasi produksi anyaman. Di Lembata itu kami sedang kerjasama dengan beberapa desa untuk kemudian lahan desa yang nganggur, itu kemudian ada strategic partnership, kerjasama strategis, di mana lontar-lontar di situ jangan ditebang, dibakar, tapi kami menjamin bahwa kami akan membeli gitu. Kami akan memberikan pendapatan tambahan dengan membeli pohon lontar tersebut. Tanahnya tidak menjadi milik kami, tidak ada rencana memiliki berapa ratus hektar, tetapi lahannya tetap milik desa, milik gereja, milik Pemda gitu. Organisasi manapun, lembaga, badan manapun yang memiliki lahan menganggur, tidak produktif, yang memiliki lontar, itu kemudian kami akan kerjasama 15 tahun, 20 tahun, 30 tahun, dan lontarnya daripada tidak menghasilkan ekonomi, akan kemudian bisa berguna dan mendapatkan nilai tambah dengan bahan bakunya dibeli oleh Duanyam. Itu adalah satu. Yang kedua juga kami kerjasama dengan, melihat kerjasama dengan pemerintah kabupaten lain, kemarin sempat ke Saburai Jua, kemudian kami terus melihat pemerintah daerah mana yang kemudian mau menjawab tantangan tentang bahan baku ini. Jadi memang mau tidak mau harus bermitra partner. Gitu. Yang terakhir, kenapa balik? Pertama-tama terima kasih sekali, saya apresiasi sekali supportnya. Pasti Duanyam tidak akan bisa sampai di sini menurut saya karena dukungan dari banyak teman-teman, bukan hanya kerjanya Duanyam, tetapi juga banyak dukungan dari teman-teman muda yang selalu menyemangati, selalu juga melihat Duanyam sebagai salah satu contoh, dan kemudian membuat kami selalu berusaha jalan di jalan yang benar gitu, sesuai dengan mimpi kami. Kalau tidak ada teman-teman yang mengingatkan kami kembali pada misi sosial kami, ya mungkin saat ini kami sudah punya pabrik gitu ya, yang kemudian isinya karyawan-karyawan aja gitu. Kalau ditanya kenapa kembali, jawaban sentimentalnya adalah karena saya merasa saya bisa menempuh. Saya lahir di Jakarta, besar di Eropa, lalu kemudian kuliah di Jepang. Dan saya juga saya sangat bangga dengan sekolah saya. Saya sekolah di SMP dan SMA Katolik unggulan se-Republik Indonesia, Santa Ursula, Jakarta. Semua pendiri Duanyam semuanya adalah didikan Santa Ursula. Bercandaannya beberapa romo kalau di Jakarta yang Yesuit, mereka suka tanya, memangnya OSU itu mereka ajarkan kalian apa sampai kalian seperti itu gitu. Gitu ada bercandanya. Tapi saya mendapatkan pendidikan yang terbaik di sekolah-sekolah Katolik sampai SMA, kuliah juga di luar negeri. Menurut saya karena kerja keras ayah saya dan ibu saya yang sebenarnya menurut saya tidak beda dari teman-teman sekalian, yang mereka berdua juga lahir besar di desa Lamalerah, dua-duanya dari Lamalerah, kami keturunan pemburu paus. Dua-duanya lahir dan besar di desa, dua-duanya juga nyaris tidak mungkin sekolah, bahkan ayah saya nyaris tidak bisa SMP, dia dulu di Santo Yosef Naikoten SMP, ada satu SMP di Naikoten, tapi kemudian dia juga harus berjualan kue jam 4 pagi, dia harus numpang tinggal di orang dan seterusnya lah gitu. Dan saya tumbuh dengan cerita itu dari kedua orang tua saya dan sampai besar, kemudian ya saya tahu bahwa apa yang saya miliki itu adalah murni berkat Tuhan, hanya murni karena saya lahir sebagai anak mereka berdua gitu, bukan kerja keras saya menurut saya. Jadi sudah layak dan sepantasnya apa yang saya miliki ini saya berikan kepada orang-orang seperti ayah saya dan ibu saya waktu mereka masih kecil. Jadi saya memilih NTT.
Terima kasih. Luar biasa Ibu Hana. Kami semua sangat terinspirasi dengan kisah Ibu maupun all the presenters who have already presented their materials today. As the last word, saya pikir sebelum kita menyerahkan sertifikat dan juga foto bersama, Saya ingin menekankan bahwa audience, we can start whatever entrepreneurs from ourselves. Mulai dari sekarang, saya pikir kita bisa mulai semua. Yang penting itu kan ilmu yang diberikan tadi, kreatif dan inovatif. Lalu ada satu kata lagi, amati, tiru dan modifikasi, ATM. Kebetulan ATM BNI juga ada bersama kita. Kita amati, tiru dan modifikasi apa yang sudah disampaikan baik oleh presenter pertama, the second speakers from Prof. Jenny, the third speaker from Prof. Aditya Riyadi, dan the last Ibu Hana Keraf. We are grateful for this moment, dan saya pikir sebagai tanda bahwa kami sangat berterima kasih dan bersyukur untuk kehadiran Ibu Hana Keraf, ada sertifikat untuk itu. Kepada MC yang cantik, silakan menghandle.
We extend our gratitude to Ms. Hana for her presentation. We will now move forward to the certificate awarding segment and seledang as a souvenir of appreciation. At this time, we invite Dr. M.A. Perseveranda, SAMSE, Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business, to kindly present the certificate. Ms. Dean, you may now proceed. Ms. Hana, you may now proceed.
Terima kasih. Thank you. Kita berikan tepuk tangan lagi. Unika. Artinya kami ikat ibu untuk jadi.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. You may now return to your seat.
Inspirer kami.
And Ms. Hana, you may now return to your seat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to all speakers and for their contribution, and to Mr. Bernard for moderating the seminar excellently. Let us give them a round of applause. Next, we will present the certificate of appreciation to the moderator. We kindly invite the second Vice Deans, Mrs. Anggreni Paridi, SAMM, to come forward and present the certificate to Mr. Bernard. We kindly ask the photographer to capture this moment. Thank you, Ms. Vice Dean. Thank you, Mr. Bernard. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have a short break for 30 minutes. So we would like to inform all offline participants during our break time. Lunch will be provided by the committee outside the hall. Please kindly remind that you are not allowed to leave the building as our event will continue after the break. And there are two sponsor booths located on the fourth floor. Please feel free to visit the booth during your break time. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy your meal.